That tickled me off.
It really did. Oh my God. You don't know how much we enjoyed that, man. Welcome to FatMan Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey.
Oh.
We were we too, like all of you, were watching the counter climb and rise and like, come on, we lost 20. How'd that happen?
I didn't release Topeka. We lost Topeka.
That was more fun than fucking Vegas. And we win. Either way, we win. But
either way, I just feel like we needed Steve Kornacki to be up here on the big board to tell us which districts we lost 4 people from.
We got our own guy in a tie, man. Where's Banff Man? He could have fucking given us the results and shit.
Banff.
There he is. Banff Man is, we're doing a home show, as you can see. So JC taking time off of his work schedule to bring me and Marc directly to you. Normally we would be at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. We're not. Tonight we're home. We're in the comfort of our own home. Marc's on the fucking moon or something. Where are you? Where's your back?
I am on the I'm on the bridge of the Executor, I believe.
Fuck.
You know, the official flagship of the Imperial Navy.
You better not mouth off to the boss. He's one of these guys.
He's one of those. Yeah, do it, Daddy. Choke me.
He's a dick twister, man. In my version of Star Wars, when he does this, he's twisting your nuts.
That's a different kind of choke.
What's that series that fantasy Star Wars story? What's it called?
Visions.
Yeah. Give me a Visions.
Way more specific.
Give me that Visions episode where fucking Vader's just force choking everyone's nuts. And they're like, when did this start? And he's like, he realized that he don't get the same impact with throats anymore, man. He's been choking throats for years. Nobody gives a shit anymore. You go after their nuts, you got their fucking attention.
I like how every season the producers of Star Wars Visions go to you for an episode, and the first one is the autoerotic fixation of the dude who just wants to be choked hard. Or season 2, what do you got, Smitty? Well, here's what we're doing now. He's force squeezing nuts. Like
so weird because it's not even my kink. If my wife tried to choke me in bed, I'd be like, what the fuck? What are you nut? I've been waiting for my wife to try to choke me in my sleep in bed, but not during sex, Marc. Never during sex.
Season 3, listen, Mr. Smith, what are you going to do with force choking and nuts this time?
Well,
just do it.
Somebody's going to choke to death on somebody's nuts that wound up in somebody else's throats by way of, wait for it, the force.
Just 2 guys being slowly brought together through space. Like, why? What's happening?
No, please, Lord Vader, no. He's like, oh, you're going to do it. He's forcing people to teabag, lifting them up in the air and forcing them to teabag. That's when Star Wars has my attention again. No, Star Wars has my attention again now with fucking Favreau and Filoni, man. They're doing some good-ass Star Wars. As we saw from a certain trailer that we shall talk about momentarily, Book of Boba.
What?
I know a guy who shot it.
Shut up.
But before we do anything on this here episode of FatMan Beyond, which we're starting early, this is the early bird special. Why? Me and Marc are senior citizens. So we're going to do the show, and we're going to go hit Golden Corral and get a discount fucking meal because men of our age, of a certain age, are entitled to senior citizen discounts.
Tell them about the blue plate special. I want my Salisbury steak, and I want it pre-chewed.
I'm going to get as many mashed potatoes as I could possibly choke down. And I'm going to make it difficult for them because I'm going to be like, are these vegan? Is this vegan? I'm going to get people like, is this vegan? Before we do anything, we got to give it up. We got 2 sponsors tonight.
We do.
2 sponsors. I hope that turns somebody on, ladies and gentlemen. 2 sponsors, the first of which you know and you love, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the people that take your stink away. Ooh, I don't know what to say. They take your stink away. It's native, kids. And guess what? It's holiday natives, man. They sent this body wash, sugar cookie, bro. Sugar cookie.
Shut up. Don't be so delicious.
Sugar cookie by native. My wife is going to be using this on her body, and it ain't going to be Santa eating the cookies. Let me tell you that much. And then also seasonal holiday candy cane deodorant, man. How awesome is that? I'm going to bust this shit open right. It's childproof. I'm going to bust this shit open right here. Let's give it a smell. Smells like candy cane, man.
Nice.
I'm gonna put this on my piss. I'm always talking about how it's vegan. I'm tempted to eat it, but I think that's because I'm on 45 hours of a fast. So the idea of eating this deodorant sounds appetizing, especially when it smells as good as it does.
I feel like one of these days I will have to catch you when you're not in the middle of a fast, because it's rare at this point. Every time I see you, like, yo, bro, I'm like 89 hours into a fast. You know, 163 hours into not eating anything.
I wish I could live my life on a fast. This smells fucking amazing, dude. I smell like Christmas. If I put you in a headlock, you would think that Santa was putting you into a headlock, because this candy cane fucking deodorant is the tits. I don't know if that's confusing to the audience because it goes in your armpits, but my God, I enjoy this product, man. I'm feeling tingly. I feel tingly. I feel alive, Mark.
Oh, nice.
I feel fresh.
Being in a headlock by Kev, post candy cane deodorant, it's like being teabagged by Santa.
Here, man, ingredients. Water. What it actually means. You know this one, water. Next ingredient is like camphor betaine, and what it means. Cleanse derived from coconut oil. They tell you what all the ingredients mean. You know, most ingredients just list the ingredients, and you're like, if I don't have a physics degree, how would I know what this is? They literally tell you what each ingredient is.
Nice.
I love these native people, man. What does the copy say?
The copy says, Native cares about the products you put on your body. They're all about stopping the stink the right way. That's a Native difference. With classics and rotating seasonals, Native has a scent for everyone. Try their holiday scented deodorant, body wash, or toothpaste in scents like candy cane, yes.
Mark.
Sugar cookie, yes. And
The
fresh
sugar
mistletoe.
cookie body wash smells fucking phenomenal.
Did you do it all?
I know
for
this
the
is not
cookie?
why people tune in, but hey, man, we all got to get clean. This shit smells fucking good.
Do you need a minute?
I might want to drink it. My
Do
God, it smells good. It's making me hungry. Go ahead, back to the copy.
So stay merry, happy, and fresh this holiday season. You will love Native's limited time seasonal products as much as we do. Go to nativedeodorant.com and use code FATMAN to get 20% off your first purchase at checkout. That's nativedeodorant.com, code FATMAN for 20% off. Nativedeodorant.com, code FATMAN. Do it. Do it. Doing it well.
It smells good. I'm going to go for a second round, man.
Ooh, lather up.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I'm going to put it between my tits as well.
I like was tuning in for Horse Bath with Kevin Smith.
Horse bath.
Washing my junk in the sink.
It's not as bad as Rudy Giuliani shaving at a fucking restaurant, but I guess, yeah, nobody tunes in to watch me. I'll tell you, Native right now that's how you sell the product.
Yeah. Do it slowly.
This body wash I don't know. It should be illegal to make something smell this good but not be edible.
Yeah. Well, tell that to the medicine.
I got a little on my nose, but I don't care because you know what? It's body wash.
Do it. Wash that shit up.
Oh my God.
You're right.
Dude, I'm gonna make my wife lather herself in this. She uses Native anyway, so I'm gonna be like, here, man, here, my little sugar cookie. And then, like a Keebler elf, I'm gonna eat her out.
I was wondering what road we were going to go down. I didn't expect Keebler elves and cunnilingus, but fuck it.
Native. That was a free commercial for Keebler. Like, hey, thanks.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for the drive-by shout-out. Native, folks, proud sponsors of FatMan Beyond, and I'm wearing it.
Mm. Well, let's not. They might not be proud, but they're definitely
maybe not
sponsors.
tonight. They're sponsors. Let's just say that they are. They're sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. We love the good folks in Native. Thank you for sponsoring FatMan Beyond. I am in the midst of a fast and smelling as good as I can because I go out on the road tomorrow, Mark.
Where you heading?
I start a tour, a mini tour of with the Malcolm Ingram's documentary Clerk, which is the story of a man who wears many hats, all of them backwards. It's the story of my life. Played at South by Southwest. We just played at the Philly Film Festival. So we're taking it out on the road. Me and Malcolm going to a few places to show the flick. I have a trailer and I want to show it, but I'm worried that they'll knock our show off YouTube if we do. But if the trailer is about me and I'm in this show, will the algorithm still kick me off? Like, will we still get in trouble as we always have? For those who are like, what's your problem? Historically, we've never been able to play a trailer on this show without getting in trouble from YouTube. Either they pull the plug on our broadcast or we get fucking angry emails or whatever the fuck. So we're going to try to play this Clerk trailer, but mind you, they may just pull the plug as they've been wont to do. But I think that would be unfair. I'm deeply involved with this movie. This ain't us trying to show fucking Morbius, God forbid.
Nope.
You know, I'm sure Grace Randolph gets to show Morbius, but for some reason, FatMan Beyond, like, we don't get to show trailers without getting knocked off. So fingers crossed. Let's watch this Clerk trailer. You got it, JC? Spin her up, man. We're coming up on the foundation upon which my entire life was built.
We would sit around at the quick stop and we started noticing these ads for these midnight movies. In the car ride home, you could see this intensity in his eyes.
This is what I've been waiting for my whole life. I want to do this.
There was nobody in film school or any of that could write like him.
It's gonna be on my tombstone.
He's not even supposed to be here today.
I'm not even supposed to be here today. Everyone got us.
They tapped into the subculture.
When I saw Clerks, it felt like I belonged to this.
I was immediately trying to set up the next thing. I got a phone call from the head of the studio. He goes, we're going to make $100 million. He was off by 98 million.
We were in and now we're not.
Kevin has had a lot of ups and downs in his career and a lot of resurrections.
At a certain point, I gave up on Kevin Smith, filmmaker. Maybe it's because the critics were like, he's no filmmaker. I'm like, all right, they're right. But I got to a point where I'm like, I think I'm going to be so much more.
The podcast, the stage shows, the hosting, making movies.
Carved his own path. He was able to energize geek culture.
Kevin Smith is the man.
He changed everything.
It's me doing everything that I've never imagined I'd wind up doing.
I do actually think like he got where he wanted to be.
Now I just want to be Kevin Smith. I want to be the Kevin Smithiest Kevin Smith I could be from now until the end of time, because that's all they'll remember about me when I'm gone.
Oh, look at that.
We're back. You're watching on YouTube.
I was just playing the fucking trailer and reading the remarks. I got this, one of these comments. Maybe this makes sense. Gnome Cyan said, you guys probably get in trouble because you have the trailer filling the whole screen.
We've done it before, though. We've done the box in box before and still got yanked.
And we got fucked for that too.
Bamf. Yeah, it's picking up the audio of it. It's not picking up the video. I think it's the audio that's doing it. But it also does it on the video. Because I believe we've actually muted the trailer and played it, and you guys have talked over it, and we still got hit for that too.
Yeah, they just don't like us.
I'm heading out tomorrow. I go to Austin. So tomorrow night I'm showing Clerk at the Paramount Theater in Austin. Then we do Q&A afterwards, me and Malcolm. Then I go to Rhode Island Comic Con on Friday, not with Clerk, just with the Clerks cast. There's a bunch of people from Clerks and Clerks 2 going to be there and stuff. Me, Jay, Brian, Jeff, Marilyn, Scott Schiaffo, like I think Trevor's going as well. Like the list goes on. So I'm going there and doing the photo thing, and we got a panel at night and stuff. Then Saturday I go to Jersey, and we have 2 sold out shows at Smodcastle of Clerk. Sunday I go to St. Louis, and we show the movie at the Pageant Theater. Then we go to Chicago the next night on Monday, and we show it at the Music Box Theater. Then I go to Toronto, and we show it at the Queen Elizabeth Theater. Then we have a day down, and then I go over to Vancouver, and we show it at the Rio Theater. So if you're in Austin, New Jersey sold out. If you're in Austin, St. Louis, Chicago, Toronto, or Vancouver, and you feel like risking your life to see a documentary about Kevin Smith and then do Q&A with him afterwards and whatnot, and the director of the movie, Malcolm Ingram, come join us. Tickets are at csmod.com, kids. And somebody asked, hey, what about if I can't get to any of those places? The movie comes out streaming everywhere, I believe, toward the end of the month or something. We're just doing this little tour for places that, have historically always been very welcoming to us and whatnot. Malcolm made a film, and, he got to go to South by Southwest, but it was online. He didn't really get the film festival experience and whatnot. So I was like, let's take it out on tour. And it's a fucking feel-good movie if ever there was one, man. Like, oh my God. But he made such a good flick, and I know the story real well, but even I get lost in it where I'm like, I hope it works out for this fucking poor kid. So, that tells you how fucking watchable it is. So I do all that. When that's done, I come back here to Los Angeles for a few days. I got some stuff to do. Then I'm going to pick up my mom in Florida, and we're going to drive to Graceland. I'm going to take Grace to Graceland.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, she's expressed an interest. Red told me, our friend Red, she was just like, your mom has always wanted to go to Graceland. And I'm like, she's my mother. I don't know this. How is this fucking?
Yeah, why do you know this?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? So I was like, Mom, have you never been to Graceland? Do you really want to go to Graceland? And she was like, I would love to go to Graceland. So taking Grace to Graceland.
Nice.
That's my middle of the month. That's November for me.
You were going to eat so well on that trip. You can get some ribs in St. Louis, some good old soul food in Memphis. You can get some fucking poutine in Vancouver, some fucking deep dish Chicago pizza in Chicago. Oh,
you're just being cruel, aren't you, to a plant-based man, Mark?
Well, they have vegan versions of all of that stuff, right?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I'd had a vegan version of ribs. That'd be fun. But yeah, they'll have food for my kind where I'm going.
It's like, have some hummus.
It's always, weird when you go to like big meat places like Texas. Whenever you go to Texas and you're like, hey man, where's the vegan joint? They're like, y'all eat grains. Like,
yeah, but you should be able to get some good fucking like Tex-Mex, some good beans.
That's what I'm looking forward to, man.
Yeah.
Some real fucking refried beans. Well, I guess, actually here in Los Angeles, you get real refried beans. Mm. Yeah. But yes, there's something to eat down there.
You can make it happen. No, that sounds like a great trip, and I look forward to the Grace in Graceland report.
It's gonna be fun, man. She seems like so thrilled about the notion. I was like, oh my God, like we'll be hours in the car, and she loves to think about how much I love to talk. This is my mother. The apple did not fall far from the tree, so it'll be a battle of who's talking more for the whole fucking ride and stuff. Top of December. I'm going to be going back east. We're going to do Jingle J and Santa Bob, thing at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. But then we also shoot December 7th. We're doing pickups. I saw it online. Somebody was like, reshoots for Clerks 3. It's not reshoots. It's pickups. We're grabbing people that we haven't shot for the cameo scene in that movie. Mm-hmm. And at that point, once we grab that, then picture will be fucking locked at that point. We had a great screening at Lionsgate last week, and it was for the marketing folks and folks that are going to do marketing beyond the movie itself, like merchandising marketing as well. Mm-hmm. And I saw some places where I was like, I could trim there. So I pulled out another like 30 seconds. And we've been playing musical chairs, pun intended, with the music as well. as we find out what things cost. So there's some songs that I'm like, we need this song no matter what. I don't care what the cost. Like Welcome to the Black Parade by, My Chemical Romance opens the movie. And, I was like, whatever the cost, we're getting that song. So there are some tracks that are definitely like, I'm dug in like a tick on, but a lot of it is now mutable and based on price. So, if there was a song that was on the original Clerk soundtrack that we were going to have on this soundtrack, a piece to play over a scene because it played over the scene in the original, but the cost was too high. They wanted like 40 grand for it. And I'm like, I'm using it for 10 seconds. Like I can't do it. So, we'll find another track to put in there instead. So right now that's what we're doing, is playing kind of musical chairs with the music going, this piece here, this piece here. I was very lucky. We got a kid who works with us back east, Christian, who did like the making of the Smodcastle videos when Ernie was building Smodcastle, when he was building Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, rebuilding it. Christian's dad, I've talked about him before. I met him years ago at the Ocean County Mall. His dad was the lead singer of PM Dawn. So he had a track that he was like, it's been, nobody ever heard it, it's been unreleased and stuff. That is like a thing of beauty and pitch perfect in the movie and stuff. So I've added that. There was a place in the movie where I was using Time is Tight by Booker T, for a montage sequence. But the song, as beautiful as it is, the piece of music is very expensive. So I was like, well, if I'm going to pay for a piece of music, let me pay for a song nobody's heard before by a New Jersey band. PM Dawn was also a New Jersey band. So I shifted that in today. And poignantly, I had to text Christian because where the song falls in the movie, Christian, while we were shooting the movie, has a cameo. He's one of the people buying something in the store, walking out at the beginning of the scene. But right now, his dad's, who passed away a few years ago, his dad's voice, his dad sings over his shot.
Oh, that's nice.
Really, really fucking nice, man. So it's cool to get a great piece of music nobody's ever heard before from a band that I've loved my whole life. But also cool when you can make little magical shit like that happen as well. Ain't gonna matter to the whole world, but it's gonna matter to people that matter, at least matter to Christian and his family. So that's what I'm kind of working on in the movie. Somebody was like, what's going on with the movie? It feels like, mid 2022 is going to be the landing spot. No date yet, but that's what they're looking at and discussing.
There's one song that I hope stays because I smiled ear to ear when I heard it. I won't say what it is in case it falls out, but I remember watching it going like, oh, I like that song. Well chosen, sir.
Tell me. Tell me. Let me see.
The Show. Is it gone?
No. Not only is it not gone, and thank you for fucking like, my whole life I've been waiting to put The Show in a movie. And finally, I had a scene where I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, as we said.
6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on.
Oh, still to this day. Like if fucking you say 6 around Jason Mewes, it'll be like 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh, you're on. So that track is deeply meaningful to me, and being able to use it in the movie was absolutely, for me, I put it in the temp cut and I'm like, well, let's see if it works. And fuck did it work. So I was like, look, I'm married to this in a big bad way. Thankfully, Christian's family is very tight with Dougie Fresh. So
nice.
So that seems pretty damn secure in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I smiled that wide at a Kevin Smith needle drop was Follow the Leader in Cop Out. And I was like, oh, this is great.
You're telling me, like, I literally forgot that we had an Eric B. and Rakim track in Cop Out. So much of Cop Out I had to block.
But it's also a car chase, and I'm like, this is a perfect song for a fucking car chase.
So fucking Rakim say, I wanted to use I Ain't No Joke, but the track itself was not expensive. The James Brown sample was far more expensive than the track itself. So yeah, we've got a healthy budget for music in the movie, but it's when we were budgeting the flick, that's not the priority. And so, we got a figure in there that's good, but like not where you could go crazy. So we're in that very selective period where I'm like, all right, how much do I love this song? Or how meaningful is this song to the movie? How well does it fit? Do others dig it? Like, I'm so glad to hear somebody go like, I love the show. Like, oh.
I'm glad the Inspector Gadget underlying music writer was not like, motherfucker, I won all my money.
Interestingly enough, like, I don't know if that belongs to the, like, because we've encountered situations where like, well, that has a sample, so it prices you out. So far, that hasn't been the case with this. But now you just scared the fuck out of me. Where I'm like, somewhere Inspector Gadget is just like, oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
The DIC people are like, what's he doing now?
Yeah, they start acting like real deeks. Yeah, and fucking
noise.
These are old school geek jokes. Old school geeky dad jokes. That's what you came for.
If ever there was a time for it, now is it.
So yeah, that's where I am with that's what's going on in my world. What's going on in yours?
Not too much different since the last time we hung out. It's still, pre-production on the movie, on the short.
I have a Marc update that I can share, and I'll be very obscure with the details.
Okay, tell me.
But I had a thing that I was like, oh, get Marc. Like, we'll get Marc to help us write this thing. And then I got the word back. They're like, Marc, too busy for you. Marc's committed to a thing. And I was like, oh my God, I knew that. But at the same time, I was like, oh, he'll be able to come and play. But Marc is so busy, he precludes him from coming to do a thing with me. That is fucking success.
I only because we had talked about it before when I was like, yeah, I don't think I can for dog. Like, I would love to, but I don't think they'll let me. But yeah, it was just like, I would then be short shrifting somebody.
One day we'll be able to tell people, like, he didn't do this because he was doing this. And people will be like, wow.
I get it.
but yes. So I know how busy you are, even though you're like, I don't have much to report. I know you're working on a thing that takes up a lot of a thing.
It does. I had a thing implode, which I suppose I can talk about in, again, general terms, non-specific terms. But it was the steadiest thing during the pandemic. Was the very last in-person meeting that I had was with a studio asking if I wanted to adapt a book. They had the rights to this fantasy book that I had never read before. But I was like, I'll give it a look. Sure, why not? I like the studio. I like the people. So I'll take a look. And I read the book, and I found my way in, right? The project, every time there's an open writing assignment, or every time there's IP that somebody has, the only way that you can spend the amount of time you're going to need to spend on it is to find your way into it. Find out what, can you respond to, how you can make it special, how it can be the story that you're trying to tell. And so I did. I found my way in. I pitched it to them. They loved it. I then pitched it to the network who was attached, and they loved it. And so they sent me off to start the process of writing a pitch document, writing a Bible, writing an outline, all of which there's notes along the way. And this is like months are starting to tick by, and finally got the green light to write a pilot. So wrote the pilot script, and and then 3, 4, 5 drafts of the pilot script, and then everybody's happy with it. And then it goes to the decision-making people who decide, okay, we are going to spend $100 million and make this TV show, or we won't. And, after about a year, like, again, it was January of 2020, I guess, would have been like just before we stopped meeting people for real, all the way up until like a month ago. It had been an ongoing concern. And then a month ago, I got the words like, yeah, we're not going to go forward with it, which, is heartbreaking to a certain degree, because you've invested all kinds of time and effort, and there's thousands of words that have been written in support of this thing, and 100 different drafts of stuff. But, the reality of Hollywood is most things don't happen. Most things don't go. And it's always sad, and you always have to mourn for a little bit of the show that was or could have been, and the time you spent, and the emotion you invested in it. But that's the cost of doing business. And so it went tits up, to not hopefully use too coarse a phrase. And so moving on. Like, it's one less iron that's in the fire, and there's no chance for it to appear anyplace else. The people who own it, the people who would air it, have the rights to it, so they're not shopping anyplace else. So it's just, you put it in the ground and you say your goodbyes and on to the next one.
We've all been there, man. We've all been there. I did that Disney thing, Disney Plus. Before Disney Plus existed, they were like, first show is going to be High School Musical, the musical, or whatever it was, the show. High School Musical, the show, or whatever. The second program is going to be Kingdom Keepers. But that was before, they were like, wait a second, we're going to do Mandalorian, we're going to do Marvel shows. In the beginning, when they were still birthing the idea of Disney Plus, before it even had a name and stuff, the Disney Channel was in charge of all the programming and stuff. Then, they put this other dude, I forget his name, but he was the guy that was like, let's do Marvel shows, let's do this. And he was the dude that killed our show. And the word I heard back was that dude was like, this property has way too many way too much IP in it. He's like, he's got every fucking Disney character, alive, because that's what we were developing. Like, the book kind of, is about kids that go into Disney and after dark, and the park comes to life and shit like that. Real fun fantasy stuff. Favreau tried to do a version of it as a feature film like years ago. So, I met with producers. I've told this story before. They took me to fucking Disney after dark. And we talked about the logistics of how we would shoot the park sequences during the day. They were like, we closed down half the tunnel, one tunnel for the public, the other tunnel for, saving Mr. Banks when we made that movie and stuff. So we could totally do it. They took us to Space Mountain and we walked the track after turning all the lights on and shit. It was crazy. And the whole time I was working on this thing, I was like, I can't believe I got this job. It's never, sooner or later, this is going to stop. No way this happens. No way this is going to come. They brought me to Disney, to the lot, and showed me the volume, the Mandalorian wall they were like, this is brand new technology, even before fucking Mandalorian happened and shit. So they were like, this is what your backgrounds are going to be on. No more green screen. We're using this and shit. And I remember I took video with my own camera because they were like, you can go from any angle and it changes perspective. It was wild. And at that point, when I met producers, when they showed me the volume and talked the logistics, that's when I was like, this show might actually fucking happen. But then killed just instantly. The dude who was hired was like, pull the fucking plug. And I don't bear any fucking ill will. I was like, it was all their property. I didn't come to them like, this is my baby. They came to me kind of, they said, come pitch, and they liked my pitch and I got the job. But it was based on, a series of books that they tangentially are involved with and stuff. Because they were fan-written books, became very popular. And then it was based on all their Walt Disney IP. So like your situation, it's not like, well, I'm just going to take my fucking thing across the street and sell it to Warner Brothers. You can't. They own the shit. So at the end of the day, I was like, oh, well, it's over now. That's where it's dead in the water. When it's something you create, you can, if somebody says no, you can always bring it someplace else. And by dag nabbit, you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do it yourself, indie film style. Like that kid made that black and white movie set in that little bodega years ago. But in this situation, you can't. And all that work belongs to them. And they're like, it's going to go on a shelf and nobody will ever see it or deal with it. And there is a moment of well, was that a waste of time? Did I just waste all my time? But number one, I'm sure like me, you got paid to do the job. Mm-hmm. So think about all the people who's, I got a dream to do something, and the dream don't come true. They don't even have a fucking paycheck to show for it.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh man, I got a dream that they'll do. And it's not even a dream we've had our whole lives. It's a dream since the opportunity happened. It's like, I dream that this thing goes and I got a steady job and I'm gonna make some money and maybe get a good story in or two, be a little self-expressive, a bit security or something like that. But, still we got paid at the end of the day. And so when it goes south, there's this whole like, be a grown up about it, stiff upper lip, like that happens. I'm a pro, I understand. But you can't help but be intimately involved with this material. Like I enjoyed the people I worked with. My executives made the story better and shit. Like all the people I met over there, like changed my opinion about studio execs for years. Like I was like, I'd worked with them on the early part of my career and I'm like, they're not bright. They're just fucking answering notes that they got and shit. This generation I worked with, they were all writers. They made the work better and shit. And so there was a period of fucking mourning where it's like, oh, and even though, I spin enough plates like yourself where I happen to know the thing that didn't go away is fucking way better. So it's like, I know you're safe as a kitten and shit like that, but still there's that moment of like, oh, like it ain't happening. And I put a lot of effort and dream into it and stuff like that. But again, at least we walk away with a check. Yeah. It's a weird position because again, it's not like I earned this with my blood, sweat, and tears. Like, you came up with a fun way to tell a story that they were like, we like that. And they took it as far as they could. And then they were like, it's not worth the money or whatever the fuck, we're not going to do it. And it's weird. It's like being, like, it's almost like a bunch of popular kids in high school is like, you come fucking hang out with us. And you're like, fucking, hey, this is how the other half lives. And then all of a sudden they're like, you cut a fart and they're like, get out of here. Like you're out. As quickly as you were in, you're out. And all the magic and the light goes and everyone who worked on it flees like the apostles when Jesus got arrested and shit. And they're all denying it. Like, what? Kevin Smith, never heard of him. No, I don't know about that project. But it's weird. You go through this weird period with it, but at least you got paid. Like, that's the only thing I always tell myself. Like, that's what my father would say. My father was like, I worked at the post office at night, canceling fucking stamps for 25 years, man. You like, you're going to cry about they didn't make your thing, but fucking you got paid. Like, got your fucking blessings and shit. But it is a weird, there's this weird little death that one, as a creative, as a writer, you have to kind of acknowledge, like the death of this little dream. Even though all these other dreams are working out, it's like, oh, at one point in my life, at one point in your life, that job was the fucking job.
Yeah,
like
that's the one.
Everything. And you were like, oh, life's gonna change and shit. And now you're on to other things, bigger, better things. And this one goes away and you're like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's the drag from like into the inactive files folder, which is somewhat ceremonial of just like da, 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 da.
I don't have inactive files, but at the top of my screen are the folders where everything's going on. At the bottom of the screen are the land that time forgot. The folders of forgotten dreams, the island of misfit toys, the shit didn't really quite pop, didn't go anywhere. But I got plans for it too. I never throw shit out. Like I got plans. Oh, I got fancy plans. I got pants to match. You'll see. I can't wait to talk about what we got brewing, man. It's very exciting, particularly for this audience that we talk to on a weekly basis. But more about that months from now.
And the other thing that did happen this week, and again, it's not like this week this happened, but the announcement went out, is that similarly for the most of the pandemic, I have been working with a woman named Amy Henning, who created and wrote, she was a lead writer on the Uncharted games, on a bunch of other notoriously phenomenal video games. Started a division at Skydance Interactive that's making games for them. And they announced this week that the game we have been working on has been in partnership with Marvel. And I can literally that's all I can say about that. But I have spent the better part of a year in the story mines coming up with a Marvel related video game.
I'm trying to be careful because I know things
I know you know things.
How do I say things without saying things? What has been you said video game, right?
Yes.
All right. What has been the most revelatory part of the writing a video game process? You haven't done it before, have you?
Not in this capacity, and not from the beginning. But it's been realizing that, yes, I have the story that I like. We as a team have come up with a story that we like, but you don't have all of the language of cinema at your disposal because it's relentlessly POV based, in that you can't really cut away to other storylines with information the player would need to play the game, especially with story information. Like the player has to always be the one who's getting the information so that they can then follow that thread. So the whole idea of like just cutting away to another character doing a thing that's not motivated by story or motivated to a character you will then be playing becomes, you start to minimize that stuff, because then it's just you're watching a thing as opposed to playing a game.
One less arrow in the quiver, so to speak, that you get to pull out and fire.
Right. Like those ideas of surprise, of reveals, of that sort of thing. The player needs to be able to follow along, so the player doesn't feel like they're behind the story so much where they're not actively invested in it. So it's just a matter of kind of recalibrating that stuff out of the language, and then realizing that, yeah, your players will need to play a game and not just watch a thing. So as you're telling the story, what's the player doing in this? It's why lots of games have like puzzles I need to solve while you're also getting exposition at the same time. And then watching people do things, it's a lot like animation in that there's a whole design department that's at work, feeding back images and designs and locations and characters and costume mock-ups and everything that's just informing the storytelling as it goes. And it's bigger at this stage than anything else I've ever worked on.
So first off, congratulations. Second off, everyone in chat seems to know the name of the lady you mentioned.
Yes.
Amy Hennig.
Yes.
Well, there was a lot of whoa. And then also there's a lot of guesswork as to what the game might be. And it's all over the map. I don't want to repeat. What did you describe it as?
It is a game that is set using characters from Marvel Comics.
Copy you. So all of the guesses are within the Marvel universe. So by process of elimination, you might imagine somebody would trip over it. I saw one of the response nail it dead, where I was like, wow.
Oh yeah? Let me look.
Look later. Don't look now.
Why not? Why do I have to be the one who doesn't look at chat?
You're not allowed to look at chat, Mark. You'll see how much they love you and be like, I don't need Kevin. And it'll be Mark Man Beyond. You already got a fucking offshoot show. Black Man Beyond.
Where's my offshoot show?
Yeah, where's my off? This is the problem. You don't know the pain of being a fucking white man, Mark. We don't get. We're forgotten. We've never been, in first position or anything like that. Oh, so many woes. You wouldn't understand.
I couldn't possibly.
All right, enough about us, because
Yes.
sometimes it just sounds like we're being braggy and secretive. That's even worse, because it's like we're not telling people the things we're working on. We're like, shh, but
Yes.
we don't want to lose these jobs. Kids.
No. I'll go away real quick.
Yeah. However, I mean, all right, so you said Marvel, right?
I did say Marvel.
Can we sidebar and just and be like, so if you're in the world, do you have access to all information that we don't?
Thus far, less information than you do.
What? I have no information.
There's very much just like you're stumbling around in the dark and somebody will tell you if you're about to walk on the third rail.
So I would see in my head, once they like come in, it's like, choir of angels, and you're brought to a large desk and they're like, here's the next 10 years. Like, leaf through one page, per project, and it just lays out phases fucking, up to phase 20 and whatnot. But it sounds like no, you're not showing the book.
Well, the game is also one step removed from the MCU proper.
Right.
So I don't even know what it would be like to be working in the MCU and how much information you have or don't have. But I know that the game side of it is they will just tell you what you can't do, as opposed to show you everything and say, find your way.
That sounds like, from time to time, the movie side too. I've heard it described thusly.
It would not surprise me.
They give folks a roadmap, it sounds like, but they also like them to be creative and then step out the way and whatnot. But they also only share the information about other projects that will intersect or Venn diagram with theirs. Like, it's not, from what I understand, just because you're working on say Hawkeye, and this is just a random fucking pick because I saw somebody wrote Hawkeye in chat. Just because you're working on Hawkeye doesn't mean you know anything about Fantastic Four.
Right.
Even though they're all on the same fucking, paycheck, and they all work for the same company, there's still incredible, intricate levels of secrecy.
Yeah. I mean, I think we got that intimated as much from when we talked to like Malcolm Spellman or we talked to Matt Shankman talking about their experiences. Was you can learn things about the things you need to know, but that doesn't mean you get to know everything. Ooh.
I'm going for another hit, man. I've never done this 3 layers in one day, but there's no unnatural shit in it. So I'm not worried about having a stroke or something like that. It's vegan.
It's good for you. It's vegan.
Oh my God. And it smells like Christmas. And you know what, Mark? We need a little Christmas right this very minute.
Do we? Because it was like just Halloween.
I know, but let's string all the holidays together. Ooh, FatMan has joined us. What's up, FatMan?
So we did Halloween all weekend at Scum and Villainy. And I went a little bit on Sunday night. I probably left around 11 o'clock. And I guess at midnight, one of our bartenders, right at the stroke of midnight, as October 31st became November 1st, he played Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Jesus.
And just trolled the whole bar. Like, Halloween's over, Christmas time, which I thought was the funniest, bar gag. Because we had, 100+ people in there that had been drinking all night, and all of a sudden, it's Mariah Carey time.
Hey man, tell us what the bar business is like now.
It's
show. We don't tend to talk about the crowd, but there's a crowd there to see the show. But what's it like when there's no show going on? People are showing up to the bar.
It's super busy. It's awesome. And we are vaccine only. So we get a little bit of trash talk on the internet and a little bit of problems at the door, but once you're inside, everybody's gotten a shot or 2 or 3. So it's it feels almost like we're getting back to way back 2019 when we were all naive about how easy it was to spread sickness.
I got my booster.
I got my booster.
Yeah, I got my booster as well. I got it a minute ago.
It didn't make me sick. The first 2 made me sick. I didn't get sick. My arm didn't even hurt on the last one.
I'm a Pfizer man. I got Pfizer and I never got sick. The only side effect was ow. The next day it literally felt like somebody punched me so fucking hard in the arm. But that was it. My wife got Moderna, and both times when she got the original shots and when she got the booster, she was knocked out for one day.
Yeah, I'm also House Moderna. First of my name.
Moderna. Oh God! Thank you for keeping it on brand. I was starting to feel like this sounds like an old man show, but that one reference saved the night. House Moderna.
And I just felt sluggish for a day, some brain fog, and then it kind of passed pretty quickly.
None here, man. None here. I think because I'm like so stoned all the time. They're like, the side effects are like, we can't make it through his weed-induced haze. So that's because, kids, I smoke Jay and Silent. Oh, I mean, we don't smoke, right? No. I mean, I've heard of this weed. Not sure. I don't want to get thrown off of YouTube.
You'd be thrown off. I think YouTube's okay. I think it's Meta that would throw you off. Mark Zuckerberg's new thing. Meta.
Can I tell you? So every week, you know, I always put up a tweet. Hey man, fucking, we're about to start the show. Join me on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel. And I wrote, you know, Facebook, and it wouldn't let me put Facebook. It only let me put Meta. So they've changed their fucking Twitter handle, man. Like there's a Facebook app, Twitter handle, but Facebook doesn't exist. Do they honestly fucking think that people are going to be like, oh, I like this Meta company. Facebook I was unsure of because I hear they were lending to the fall of our democracy, but like this Meta company I'm all about. Like,
Mama name him Clay, I'm going to call him Clay.
This is the weirdest rebranding since Weight Watchers just went with WW. And I say that as a former Weight Watchers spokesperson. It's strange, but yeah, you can't type Facebook anymore. There's no Facebook Twitter address. It's just Meta. It's all Meta.
That's so weird.
We're being watched on Meta right now.
I mean, nice try, I suppose. But like, I still know that KFC stands for Kentucky Fried Chicken, even if potentially, legally, they can't say that it's chicken. So it's not just KFC.
That's not why they changed their name. They changed it because fried was such a bad word in the culture for a long time. It wasn't chicken. They got real chicken there, unless you know something I don't.
I mean, that was the rumor, but you know, it probably sit next to some rumors about like Richard Gere that are like woefully unproven, but just urban legend.
I'll vouch for Kentucky Fried Chicken, even though I'm plant-based and I'm a vegan now. Brag. It's not a brag, believe me, I get crucified for it anytime I mention it. That's why I try to say plant-based, because if I say vegan, people are like, fuck you. Now I eat 3 times as much meat and shit because you said vegan. But yeah, they changed their name because of the fried. That was the dirty word. Because, you know, people were going health conscious and writing their fucking name, dude. They're like fried. And, you know, we all know that fried, well, take it from cardiovascular disease Kev, ladies and gentlemen. Fried food, you know, is no damn good for your heart. So I think that's why they changed. I don't think it was because there was a scandal about the chicken. That's more like Taco Bell, like how much meat is in the meat kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if French fries can stay being called French fries, even though they're fried, you could probably get away with just saying Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh, look at this. This never happens. Oh, God, screw this in chat said, that's a popular urban legend, Mark. Kevin is oddly enough completely right. Why is it oddly enough? I know things. I sounded like Fredo right there.
I know things. I'm smart.
I'm smart.
I do like that there's now this war in chat who's like, incorrect, Kevin. It's because they couldn't call it chicken. Oh, well, Kevin is oddly right in this. It's a promotion thing, not a food thing for KFC. Yes.
I just saw that one too. Promotion thing, not a food thing for KFC. Mike Clifford is reminding us that we've gone way off tangent. So we should probably, you know, this isn't like fucking Colonel Sanders Beyond. It's FatMan Beyond. We're here to talk about the culture that pops, ladies and gentlemen. And how we do that around these here parts is by diving into the news. And the only person who knows the news, our very own personal Owatu, that watcher cuck who goes through the news looking for things to talk about. Marc Bernardin has brought you the news. Here now with the news is Marc Bernardin.
First, point of fact, I'm pretty sure if we just called this the Tangent Show, it would do just as well in the traffic.
No doubt.
And also, that's what a home show is for, my friends.
That traffic, by the way, up to 2,400 people watching.
Look at that. But yes, let's talk about some things. Namely, in 2 days, 2 trailers dropped.
Oh, which ones?
The first one that dropped was the Star Wars Book of Boba Fett trailer.
Yes. Yeah, that they stealth that one, snuck that trailer. It wasn't like the Morbius trailer yesterday. They were like, "Hey man, tomorrow, Morbius, the latest Marvel hero." Boy, they said Marvel once. They said 1,000 fucking times.
Yep.
But the Boba Fett didn't seem like there was any buildup. Maybe I missed it. All of a sudden, I was thumbing through fucking Twitter, or I didn't want to say fingering. That sounded dirty. But I never.
Well, we wouldn't want to do that now.
I'm not a thummy guy. I'm a pointer finger guy. So I was doing this on my phone, man. I was like, and I saw somebody talking about Book of Boba, and I was like, what? Dave Klein shot it. That's my boy's shit.
Yeah.
On display. I saw him take credit for it finally on Instagram today. I guess, those cats are under strict lock and fucking key. So he couldn't even say anything and stuff, but it's nice that he's able to tell the world, man. That guy, the guy who shot Clerks when he was a boy, he was 19, is shooting the Book of Boba. He's also shooting fucking Mandalorian season 3. Talk about a glow up, man.
That's not bad.
He deserves it. He worked so fucking hard. So hard. I mean, he had to. Clerks worked, for me, because people are like, hey, welcome, clever new young voice and shit. Ain't nobody ever looked at Clerks and said, we got to get the guy that shot Clerks. Like, it's not known for its look. So Dave had to fucking prove his mettle. And he did in the trenches of True Blood. He shot that for a while. He shot Homeland for a while. He shot Deadwood. Like, he's been all over the map and stuff. And now he's firmly ensconced over there at fucking Lucasfilm, man. They love his ass. Look at that. He went from Boba. He worked side by side with Filoni and fucking Favreau, man. How awesome is that?
And Rodriguez.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave it right there.
I thought it looked dope.
I think it's fantastic.
I'm here for the systemic attempt.
Baseball, but I didn't want Dave to get in trouble.
Yeah.
But yes, the show looks fucking phenomenal. I will say this. I thought there's a missed opportunity at the end of the trailer because it ends kind of soft. Where you just like do something badass, man. Because at first he opens with him being like, I'm not here to be an asshole. I'm here to do things right. And then, it feels like the bookend to that trailer is showing him fucking doing something wrong, but that's just me. I was not displeased whatsoever. I loved it all, but I thought it was strange that the last beat was the last beat. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's more suggestive than anything else. And I thought,
because you want the Oren Ishii scene in Kill Bill 1, where it's, you are all welcome to come here today and tell me anything you would like to tell me. I will look forward to your, suggestions. And by all means, I aim for open communication with all of my subordinates. But if any motherfucker brings up that point before, I will take your fucking head. Like, you just needed that bit at the end.
I'm watching the show regardless. It's a great trailer regardless. But, it would have been iconic if he beat somebody to death with a gaffy stick at the end of that trailer at that table, where he's just like fucking De Niro on the Untouchables, just throws the bat and is just looking around and shit.
But I'm here for the ongoing rehabilitation of Boba Fett as a character.
Rehabilitation, fuck, it's like he's finally getting his due. This has been one of the most beloved characters of the Star Wars universe, and now everyone's going to get to bathe in Boba. For a while we thought, well, the Mandalorian is as good as it's going to get, but fucking Disney Plus was like, hold our beer, and suddenly we're getting a whole fucking Boba Fett miniseries. Go back and tell the kids in 1979 who watched the Star Wars Christmas special where Boba Fett was introduced in animated form. Maybe it was 1980. I'm sure FatMan will correct me if I'm wrong. Go tell those kids they're going to get a whole Boba Fett miniseries one day. They'll be like, oh.
Yes. Here for it. Looks great. In December,
he was invited in and he didn't come in to fucking correct, man.
Chat.
Chris, when would it be? Christmas 79 or Christmas 80? The Star Wars Christmas
79.
So I was right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
79.
That's twice. I was right about this, and I was right about Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, the jury's out whether you were right about it.
I know. I see a lot of people in chat going, you know what the fuck you're talking about.
I love that the trailer just popped off with the Bomar monk, which was the creature
The spider
with the brain
thing,
creature spider that you saw in the very background of the version of Return of the Jedi that you had if you didn't tape it off of ABC like I did, and because I cut that out. You know, like from that moment, it was like, hey, you guys, you're gonna like this. And then it was interesting. I was more intrigued by where they were going, kind of the tone and everything of the trailer, than I was like, oh my god, this is the craziest thing of all time. Like, it felt very, I saw somebody in chat, Rex Young said Godfather Fett, and it felt very like
a little bit.
It also felt to me
it takes place in the underworld, so
it felt like that was like, we're gonna give you 1 minute and 30 seconds out of the first 15 minutes of the first episode of the show. Like, I think that was all stuff that's like right up front in that first episode. Like, all the exposition you need was in that trailer.
Jay something in chat says Google says 78. Kev, wrong again. Is it Christmas 78? No. When did Empire Strikes Back come out? 1980, right?
Yeah, it came out in 1980, and the holiday special had to have been 79. I'm gonna Google it too.
I think it's less The Godfather and more The Wire. I think, like, if
that sounds promising.
If Boba Fett is ultimately Stringer Bell, who's like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to reform it, I'm going to actually give this crime syndicate some fucking rules and some actual managerial pizzazz and kill a bunch of people on the way. But it's he did it that way, I'm the next generation, I'm doing it my way.
It is 1978. We both screwed that up.
Look, man.
As long as you got some fucking sugar cookie.
Nothing in the world is wrong with this native body wash. This shit smells like fucking, like cookies. Like, it smells like it says it's sugar cookie. I'm just rubbing this on me. I guess it's like putting soap on your hands, but oh my God, I want sugar cookies so fucking badly right now.
Then maybe you should put down the body wash, sir.
Or I should lick the body wash.
Do shots. So Morbius, the Morbius trailer.
Wait, before we go to Morbius, let's talk about another trailer that dropped this week.
Which one?
Buzz Lightyear. This looks adorable. I had no idea that this is about the real astronaut that inspired the toy. That's how deep cuts this fucking show is. And I know, everyone's like, but wait, it was Tim fucking, but it's not Tim Allen anymore. Now it's Chris Evans and this is cancel culture. Not at all. It's just, it ain't Buzz Lightyear. It's Buzz Lightyear. It's the guy that they based the toy on, so it wouldn't necessarily be Tim Allen's voice.
No.
Bam.
I'm just in for the show. Like, it looks fucking dope. Like, it looks heartwarming as fuck. And I love him as an actor. I'll fucking listen to him be the voice of that character. It's crazy, though, that he'll be the voice of Buzz Lightyear, but he wouldn't be in the What If show. But I guess it's a different thing, right? He's like, if I ever open my mouth as Captain America again, it's going to be for $100 million.
I want the Downey check.
Yeah, I want them Downey bucks. So instead, I'll say whatever the fuck you want as Buzz Lightyear. You'll pay me, but man, if you want them Captain America pipes, you got to break me off that RDJ money.
Mm-hmm.
Which I bet they were all probably getting by the end. Maybe not all, but everyone started making
the big six. I'm sure they all were doing all right.
George Edwards in chat says, never left a YouTube comment, but big fan. Guys, please get better mics. Now, I don't have a mic. I'm working off the mic in my laptop. I imagine Mark is doing the same. No, Mark's got an actual fucking mic. So Mark's doing more than me. I'm literally just going off the laptop mic, but I do hear a lot of in chat, not hear, but see people always talk about you, Mark. They're like, his mic sucks. I assumed you were going off the laptop.
No, I mean, maybe I should, given the actual mic that I have doesn't seem to be doing the job, but I did invest in technology.
Bam.
He did, because he cares. Oh, Banff Man is here to update us on technology.
Because Mark's in a a glass box. He sounds hollow because he's in a empty room.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's very reflective.
Yeah.
George Edwards says over 50K views last video. Let's invest in the brand. I think that's very funny.
What's
I'll
say what's funny.
He goes, also JC, producer and presenter, two very different roles. Let's stick to the former. Ooh, George, I disagree. I love when FatMan comes in.
Yeah, there's a few people who really don't like me in chat. Every week, even when we're doing the show from the bar, I get like the more of the guys, less of JC. Like there's always one guy who really doesn't like me. But the other thing,
you always bring good information.
The funny thing is when I'm in chat doing the show from the bar, there's always the people who are like, I can't hear it. I'm watching it on my phone and I can't hear it. I wish you guys would just keep doing the home shows. Those sound great. So we're damned if we do. Yeah, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't.
I mean, look, I love doing the home show because I'm like, you're only seeing me from here up. So, I could fucking eat if I wanted to. I'm not eating now because I'm going out on tour soon. So I'm trying to
fight and wait
myself. But yeah, the home shows are fucking fun and easy as fucking stuff. But, there's a lot of energy to the bar shows, like an energy that obviously we can't get here online and stuff. And it's not like we like doing the bar shows because we make money off it. The money you make off of that show is very, very minimal, very nominal. You do it because of the energy in the room and shit. You do it to be around a bunch of people who feel the same way you feel about this shit. And, you can make corny ass dad jokes about fucking geek material. It's a dream come true and shit. Anyway, that's not
anyway.
Everyone's like, we know that.
Yeah.
A lot of love for FatMan though. Once we said that some people don't like FatMan, everyone jumping in and be like, I love JC. Bamf. I like FatMan. FatMan needs a comic book. JC is cool. You're getting all the love, man.
He is, as well he deserves.
Dan of Earth asks, thoughts on the Eternals reviews. Is that one of our news stories?
It isn't, primarily because I would like to see the movie first before we start talking too much about it.
Good point. But we can talk about the newsworthy item that this is the first Marvel movie that has dipped below the fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That seemed to be the big story this week. Everyone's like, Shudder, like it went lower than Thor 2, The Dark World. And then you look at Thor 2 and their score is like, I don't know, 66 or something where I'm like, hey man, as the guy who made yoga hosers, I wish I was Thor 2, The Dark World. But apparently Eternal, I don't know if it's still there, but it dipped below the 60 mark, and that sent 1,000 people writing on the internet, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's it's a gamble for Marvel. Not having seen it yet, I don't know how successful it is or it isn't, but it would not surprise me if the same kind of review bombing that goes on for films that have a quote unquote woke message, or filmmakers of color, or filmmakers that are female, or characters who are LGBTQ may or may not have incurred the wrath of the same people who coordinatedly shit on stuff.
Boy, I would hate to be in that position. I wonder what that's like.
You know how that goes.
I mean, I'm going to see this fucking movie. We tried to go see it. We're going to go see it Monday with good old Pratt Deacon, man, at 40X. And they were willing and we were willing, but the way they do these preview screenings is they got to send a security person with this to watch the flick, like somebody from the studio, like, the content cop or whatever the fuck has to be there to make sure that you're not shooting it with your iPhone or whatever the fuck. So they didn't have somebody, they didn't schedule that person. So we didn't get to go see it. It ain't a big deal. The movie's coming out Friday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be at the Rhode Island Comic Con, which is a wonderful place as any to see a comic book movie. So perhaps I'll take it in the beautiful but tiny state of Rhode Island, the tiny but beautiful state of Rhode Island. But yeah, we were trying to see it this weekend. I mean, this Monday, but it didn't pan out for us. I have not read any of the reviews. There's some stuff that's hard to avoid on Twitter and whatnot, but you know, sooner or later, somebody's got to be the lowest score. And, you know, it looks like what I've seen of the reviews, it's not, you know, people attacking like the wokeness or the cast. It's like, it's people going like, and it's not, they're not attacking, obviously, these are just people writing reviews. People citing the length and as like, you know, a detriment or something like that. Also, like, you know, you don't have, well, I don't know these three, but I heard of Spider-Man, you know, and I know Captain America and fucking Thor. Like, they're going to introduce us to a brand new team of characters. And, you know, you got to be a pretty hardcore comic book aficionado, Marvel aficionado, Jack Kirby aficionado to like be well-versed in the Eternals, is my humble opinion. I'm sure somebody out there will be like, fuck you, the Eternals is life. And I'm like, great, fantastic. But as the guy who's been reading comics for a damn minute, 51 years old, like, you know, they were far outside of the books that I was reading. Now, so was Guardians of the Galaxy. And you know, they took that and fucking turned it into something that like I'll fucking go to my grave saying this is one of the greatest movies ever fucking made, that and the sequel. So it's not to be said that like, you know, just because I don't know the book or I don't like the book doesn't mean that they can't turn it into a thing that becomes wonderful and stuff. So, you know, I'm like you, I'm ready to take it all in, man. I mean,
yeah, I'll go for the ride.
Director, Chloe, and you know, they look like they're trying something different in terms of the look, like, hey, let's shoot outside and shit like that. And it's Marvel, it's got the Marvel name on it, and Kevin Feige gave it a blessing. So I got, you know, I've liked everything he's done so far. I can't imagine that you know, I won't like this. So
yeah, I'll buy the ticket, go for the ride. We'll see what we get.
Exactly, man. And you know, if this Marvel don't make my day, you know, if I wait 10 minutes, Spider-Man's about to swing on by. And
yep, absolutely.
But yeah, all right. But anyway, back to the news.
Back to the news. So Lightyear looks really good. Morbius looks like a lot of movie.
Yeah, let's talk about that Morbius trailer. You know, I tease it because my God, if they said Marvel once, it seems like they said 1,000 times. Marvel's newest. This Marvel. Wait till you see what Marvel has up its sleeve. Marvelous. This guy is. He's a vampire, but he's a Marvel vampire. You know, they're laying into the pedigree, and rightfully so. It's not like Morbius is an insanely well-known character outside of hardcore comic book fandom. You know, I'll see it.
Yeah, I mean, it feels very much like it's one of those classic Marvel origins, which is, what if it was Doctor Strange but but as a vampire, or what if it was Tony Stark but as a vampire? Like, you know, rich dude, you know, injures himself.
I've got to heal myself. I'll use the power of, I don't know, nature.
Right. You know, I will go to the lengths of the world to discover the cure to my you know, ailment, which will then turn me into something extra human. And in this case, the living vampire.
Jared Leto is easy to love and easy to tease, but he is a good actor.
Yeah, he's not half stepping it. He looks like he's invested.
His, you know, his Joker take obviously is, you know, not as preferred as the Heath Ledger take or the Joaquin Phoenix take and whatnot, but the guy, he does a whole lot of acting in whatever he does.
He always commits.
Yeah, and you know, you saw him in the Gucci trailer. He's unrecognizable. He likes to play with the makeup too. Guy that pretty likes to disappear in the makeup and stuff. You know, he seems game. I'm there. This ain't his first comic book movie. This ain't his first rodeo, obviously. You know, if you'd have told me when I was a kid they're gonna do a Morbius movie one day, I'd be like, what? What? Will they do Werewolf by Night next? And perhaps they will.
Perhaps they will. But yeah,
Sony really expanding their Spider-Verse, aren't they?
They are doing their best to tie it all in. Also,
and being self-referential. Fucking Morbius makes a Venom joke.
He does. I'm Venom. Nah, just kidding. I'm Dr. Morbius.
The internet was like all this morning. Twitter was like, what the fuck universe is this taking place in? Because the Vulture's there from MCU, but the Daily Bugle is the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. In that newspaper, they reference the Rhino and Black Cat, which would be, the Andrew Garfield universe, I guess. They had a Rhino.
Yeah.
And what else? There was some other thing where they're like, wait a sec, what fucking universe is this? Oh, the poster of Spider-Man Wanted is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Right.
Not the Tom Holland one. So, they've not made it clear yet which exact universe this is taking place in. Perhaps things will be more clear after Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't know how much longer the Marvel Sony partnership or agreement continues. Like, I thought it was for 3 movies, 3 solo Spider-Man movies. So you get your Spider-Man Homecoming, your Spider-Man Far From Home, and your Spider-Man No Way Home.
Well, no, then they had that big blow. Remember after the last movie, it was like, oh, it looks like they're fucking not going to work together again. But then they healed all wounds, and I thought it was for longer than that. They'd be silly not to fucking continue consulting with one another. Like, we love it. We hate separate universes. We love that fucking, Venom can now pop up in fucking the MCU and stuff. They should make nice and always fucking keep things as is, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my hot take. Give me what I want. I think I speak for all the internet when I say, give me exactly what I want, whatever it is at any given time.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. All of these things are always in flux, and there's never any real telling what giant corporations run by people with giant egos will do. But I mean, I'll see it because I see all of these things except for Venom 2. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe I'll catch up with it before.
You still haven't seen Venom 2? Boy, that's making all the money and shit.
Yeah. No, it mystifies me how well it's doing, because I don't know about the second one.
It doesn't mystify me anymore. And once the internet told me it was PG-13, I was like, oh, of course. Like, you can take a kid to this. It's just naughty enough, but he ain't doing real killing. There ain't no carnage going on in that fucking thing. Yeah. And that ain't a complaint. Don't fucking, Kevin Smith says there ain't no carnage and shit. I'm just saying it can make that kind of money because it's a PG-13 movie, man, with a whiff of naughtiness to it. So, and Tom Hardy is amazing. Who don't want to fucking see that dude act? I'll watch that dude act in anything, man. Watch that dude do any role. I'll watch that dude do me.
I mean, sell tickets.
They got a camera on it and shit. I'm looking at the camera and he's behind me. I'm watching it.
You have sex like a younger man.
He's even good at this. Boy, they don't call him Hardy for nothing. Yeah.
Let me get some of that darkness.
I
was born to it.
I was born in it. I didn't see the light until I was a blind man. By then it was blinding. All right, what other news?
There was, I suppose it was when Ava DuVernay was doing interviews in support of her new Netflix show about Colin Kaepernick. She did an interview with Andy Cohen and talked about the reason why her New Gods movie was taken off of the release slate. And her conjecture is, according to her, she says the Warner Brothers killed New Gods because, quote, the studio decided that they did not want to pursue a certain part of that comic book world based on some things that were going on with another film in that world. So before I was able to kind of complete my script with Tom King, they axed it. So the prevailing theory had been that the Snyder Cut was the reason why New Gods went away, because the Snyder Cut brings in all of the New Gods, ultimately. Well, not all of them, but a decent chunk of them. You get your Darkseid, you get your Granny Goodness, you get all of that stuff. And so her feeling and her conjecture, apparently, is that the reason why they wouldn't go forward is because Snyderverse kind of stole that glory.
And she said this out loud.
I mean, all she said was there were some things going on with another film in that world. And the only other film.
Can't imagine these comments went over well with the Snyderverse folks. The folks released the Snyder Cut folks.
You know, I could not tell you. I tend to not truck down those particular blind alleys of the internet, but it wouldn't surprise me either.
How accurate do you think it is? That's the director's conjecture. How accurate do you think it is?
You know, I think of anybody who is poised to know, she's among them. You know?
Yeah, I mean, listen to me. I'm like, come on, how accurate can this be? What does she know, Mark? I guess she was kind of close to the situation. Well, I mean, you know, then don't be mad at her. Be mad at fucking Warner Brothers for being.
She didn't do it.
For being like, maybe we shouldn't do this twice. I was looking forward to that, like in a weird way. I'm not the biggest New Gods fan, but I have a lot of respect for Kirby's fourth world characters and also the spirit with which they were created. This is when he broke away from Marvel and came over to DC and kind of gave DC its greatest bad guy, cosmic bad guy, Darkseid, for heaven's sakes. So I was looking forward to it. And Ava is incredibly talented, and watching someone of her stature and storytelling stature tell a fucking story about Big Barda, fucking Mr. Miracle, Scott Free, fucking High Father, fucking Light Ray, my fucking Orion. Look at me busting all the names. I was ready for that movie, man. So that's a bummer that Warner Brothers is like, no, they had enough of fucking Darkseid. No,
they're all the mother boxes they needed.
No, I would like a few more mother boxes. I would love to see that fucking New Gods movie. You know, but then again, you know, I watch all these fucking movies, so they're not counting on me. They're like, we know you're coming. We need other people to give a fuck. But I don't see why they don't think people wouldn't give a fuck. Well-told story, classic fucking characters. Again, one of the greatest cosmic bad guys of all fucking time and shit. Shit, in a world where Marvel made Thanos work, like, you don't think somebody can make Darkseid work? Zack did, and fucking, you know, Zack Snyder's Justice League. How about giving us more of that world, man? Fucking, we got to see a little bit of Granny Goodness, a little bit of Desaad. Let's see what that would have looked like. Even if it's, you know, different versions than what Zack's would have been. Like, those are great characters, stand the test of time. Hopefully Warner Brothers, like, you know, counters at one point. They're like, you know what? I mean, in a world of like all the content, all the fucking channels they got to fill, not just their film slate, but HBO Max and stuff. You mean to tell me there ain't some fucking iteration of New Gods they can't get going? Come on.
I mean, I wonder if however the Eternals does will be a bit of a bellwether, you know, because again, like cosmic characters created by Jack Kirby that nobody's overly familiar with, given the shine of a big ass Marvel release, cast to within its inch of its life, directed by a Oscar lauded female filmmaker. Maybe it's all right. Let's see.
Man, let me tell you something, Marc Bernardin. Whole fucking world is blind. You wearing bifocals. I didn't even fucking see that angle. You're right. Somebody might have been like, let's just put a pin in this until we see how Eternals does, because I find this to be similar and stuff. You're right.
It's a comp. And in a world in which the studios are always looking for, what is this like? What does it feel like? Give me a comparison.
They didn't have one for New Gods, just like they didn't have one for Eternals, and now at least, you know, New Gods has one in the way of Eternals. That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
So, but yeah, I would like to see this movie. I would like to see, especially, you know, Tom King co-writing it with her, you know, to see the movie that the two of them would have come up with would be interesting.
A good joke is a good joke. AZ Atheist in chat said, New Gods? How about no gods?
No gods, no kings. No gods, no rules.
That's a bummer, man. No Big Barda. Big Barda, man, is a great character. Fucking Scott Free is an amazing character. And Tom King was going to be writing this thing with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you mean that Tom King?
That
made this fucking award-winning book?
Indeed.
You know what? They should just do a Mr. Miracle. That fucking book was fantastic. He's a great character. But I want my New Gods movie, Mark. I was promised one.
Yeah, we were told it was going to come, but sadly.
No. Oh, what else is going
on? Chris Pratt continues to dominate all Italian-related voice work. He is now going to be the voice of the lasagna-loving, Monday-eating Garfield.
You consider Garfield Italian?
He's all about that lasagna, man.
He likes the lasagna, but he always comes across kind of waspy to me, no?
An old kind of over it.
All of his complaints are first world problems. Very, but wow. Wait, Chris Pratt is doing another cartoon voice? He's not just Mario. Now he's Garfield as well. He
apparently is Hollywood's go-to voice actor. And so when that news broke,
today, Twitter lit up today saying it was a real, hey man, if you can't get Jack Black, then you go to Chris Pratt. And a lot of Jack Black could have been in, fucking School of Rock. No, Jack Black could have been in Guardians of the Galaxy, but Chris Pratt never could have been in School of Rock. Shit like that. Unfair to compare the two. Jack Black is a fucking icon, a legend. And Chris Pratt is iconic and legendary in his own way. Although he has kind of views that are different than mine, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. But I loved him as in the Lego movie. I thought he was an enjoyable voice over there. But I don't know that I hear him when I don't know. I hear Garfield when I hear him talk. He's too nice. Garfield is kind of shitty.
Yeah, and he's too energetic.
Like Bill Murray in many ways was a great Garfield. Right attitude, right fucking voice. Just you can't give a fuck. Chris Pratt sounds like he gives a fuck. We know he gives a fuck. I had a heart attack and the dude tweeted I will be praying for you. I never, it's not like we know each other. So very nice guys. I'm not saying an actor can't act, but I don't think of him as a finicky cat at all.
Bamf.
No.
Ooh. It's always exciting when FatMan has something to add. Go.
I hear Harrison Ford in Garfield. I want lasagna. It's another case of the Mondays. I just want to. I shouldn't have gotten out of bed today. Where's Odie?
That sounds dangerously close to Ralph Garman's fucking Odie.
Yeah.
You're right. He is kind of low energy, bitchy and shit. But Garfield's got them bright eyes. Harrison Ford, you don't have them bright eyes, not anymore. He's got them soulful eyes and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about Garfield that always struck me. It's he's 60, 65 years old. He's an old cat. He's not no spring chicken. He's on his way to whatever place cats go when they die.
What about Tracy Morgan? There's a good Garfield.
I was gonna say Ving Rhames would be an amazing Garfield.
Tracy Morgan's Garfield would constantly threaten to get you pregnant.
I'm gonna get you pregnant, Liz Lemon.
And when a cat gets you pregnant, there's a lot of kittens. We know that. They don't have one. It's a whole litter.
One of my favorite jokes of all time, and I still remember it to this day, is from 30 Rock when he says, I made a remake of Affair to Remember. And then you start in your head doing all of the joke titles for it. It was called Affair to Remember Black. Affair to Remember Black. Yes! Perfect. So yeah, but hey, Chris Pratt is making fucking Garfield and Mario Brothers. So, he must know more than we do.
I mean, look, never mind the Chris Pratt of it all. Let's just top at the Garfield of it all. This is still happening? This fucking cat?
I mean, it seems as if also Garfield.
This is Garfield's from the 80s. Do you remember Garfield got popular when we were kids?
I mean, Garfield started in 1978.
Yeah.
Garfield is, almost 50 years old.
And so, people are still oh, that fucking saucy cat. Oh, he's got a lot of lip on him, that cat. I love to hear him give shit to his owner. My favorite version of Garfield, when I was a kid, I absolutely loved Garfield. Don't get me wrong, I collected all the books and shit. But currently, as a grown-up, my favorite incarnation of Garfield was Garfield Without Garfield, that online comic where they just move Garfield. It's a series of John talking to himself.
Existential dread of John without a cat.
Now that's some fucking funny shit right there.
I mean,
also a CG movie. Nobody does 2D animation anymore. This must be a live action, a CG cat in a live action world, or Is John gonna be fucking CG?
The last two Garfield movies were live action animation hybrids. I have to imagine at this point it's probably just all CG, because do we really need to see real people in all this?
Big T1377 says we need that Heathcliff. Yeah, man, fucking let's cross those two fucking over. Let's see a cat fight. Garfield versus Heathcliff, man. And one of them's like, you're the Kmart version of me, but which one's which?
Oh, see, now now I'm interested.
Yeah.
If it's the fucking warring orange cats, it's West Side Story, but with orange cats.
The boring orange cat. It's a musical.
When you're a cat from your first cigarette to your last dying day.
We gotta. The gang was called the Cats. I take it.
Pretty much, yes. Rodgers and Hammerstein's Garfield versus Heathcliff, a tale of two kitties.
Rodgers and Hammerstein. All right. Good for that fucking guy. Boy, he's getting all the work and shit. How come nobody calls me and says, "Hey, man, be Garfield"?
I mean, not for nothing. You'd be a better Garfield than Chris Pratt, because Garfield is also clearly stoned all the time. That cat is high on catnip like a fucker. And so all he wants to do is eat and sleep. And it's a Monday again. This is bullshit. Where's my food? Where's my nip?
Let me tell you something. I'm just fucking, I stopped on fucking, I'm better than Chris Pratt. Thank you very much.
Yeah, see? Look, dear Hollywood. Come on. When you make your Heathcliff movie, call a homie.
Yeah, that's what I'll get. They're like, you can have Heathcliff.
You can have Top Cat. I'm like, what? Okay.
Make that work.
Good luck, pal.
Funny boy, Jay and silly Bob. You don't go near Garfield. That's Chris Pratt country. You're Heathcliff all the way. We're going to push you off that Heathcliff. And see.
Well done.
All right. Let's move on to
more
other news.
There was almost an Elf 2 once upon a time.
I saw this news this week. Tell
yes, but apparently it was awful.
Awful.
So awful that Will Ferrell turned down $29 million, which was the offer to make Elf 2. He says the decision to walk away was simple. I would have had to promote the movie from an honest place, which would have been like, oh, no, it's not good. I just couldn't turn down that much money. And I thought, can I actually say those words? I don't think I can, so I guess I can't do the movie. So, yeah, apparently.
Let's just stop for a minute. Imagine having that kind of integrity.
I don't know what that's like.
Oh my God, if somebody offered me $29 to do Elf 2, I'd be like, done.
Where's my pointy shoes?
Even if they're like, the script is dog shit. I'm like, you kidding me? People are going to go see it anyway, man. It may not make as much as the last one. And sure, I'll be in the lesser elf, but I'll be in an elf picture. I'll put that on my grave. Here lies Silent Bob. He was in an elf picture. Not the one everyone liked, but still, ... Wow. Good for Will. He must be doing very well if you could turn down $29 million.
I mean, and also we don't know when this was, but clearly it wasn't like last year. So it was earlier in his career, because Elf 1 broke him big. And so at some point they were like, we want to do it again, buddy. We want to do it again. And he's like, not with this one. This is a honking piece of shit. I will not pay off anybody's retirement homes with this.
I don't mean to brag, Mark, but I have directed a Will Ferrell in my career.
Yes, I've seen such pictures.
20 years back. My finger was on this post. Yes, he's a lovely fucking dude. Very fun on set, as you would imagine. Very, very funny ad-libber. What else we got?
This story tickled me. And at first I was like, is this in our wheelhouse? But then I remembered.
You can make it work.
I can make it work. Jason Sudeikis and Rosario Dawson are leading a virtual live reading of the great Supernatural holiday classic, It's a Wonderful Life.
I just saw this. She had it in her Instagram feed. Who's doing this? It's for the Ed Asner Theater or some such shit?
Yeah, the Ed Asner Family Center, which promotes mental health and enrichment programs to children with special needs and their families. It's a one-night-only event on December 5th, which a cast that includes Sudeikis, Rosario Dawson, Mark Hamill, Martin Sheen, Mandy Patinkin, Lou Diamond Phillips, Phil Lamar, Ben Mankiewicz, Ron Funches, Ed Harris, and George Wendt.
There's a couple people on that list I've worked with.
Yeah. The Cheers actor, who George Wendt is actually Jason Sudeikis' real-life uncle, is playing Uncle Billy to Jason Sudeikis' George Bailey.
Wait, what? Jason Sudeikis, what? Real life what?
George Wendt is Jason Sudeikis' uncle. They're related.
Really?
Yeah. And so George Wendt is going to play Uncle Billy to Jason Sudeikis' George Bailey.
I mean, that's the biggest takeaway from this is like Jason Sudeikis' uncle is Norm. How's it going, Norm? Well, great, because my nephew is Jason Sudeikis and fucking Ted Lasso is an amazing show. I mean, I guess look, I'm no Cheers writer, so clearly that wasn't trippy enough. Is that why I didn't win an Emmy and move on to fucking Frasier or nothing like that?
But actually, if you look at pictures of like Sudeikis and George Wendt, especially when Wendt was younger, you're like, oh yeah, there is a bit of a family resemblance.
I mean, that's crazy to me. But like it's not like one helped the other. You know what I'm saying? Like
to the best of my knowledge now.
Yeah, I mean, how could he? Like, other than George Wendt was on SNL a couple times, but it's not like he was hey, put my nephew in this fucking show. That ain't the way that show works and shit. It's just weird when you find out famous, successful people are related that you never would have known it, because it's not like, oh yeah, George Wendt gave him a leg up.
Right. I think it's one of those, and you hear those stories, like Clooney's talked about it quite a bit, that his mother's Rosemary Clooney, who was a big ass fucking song and dance sort of musical theater star for a while.
Right.
And it's like, it's less that Rosemary, my mom helped me, but I got to live the life of a child of an entertainer. And so I got to see some of Hollywood from the inside and know what people were going through, and knowing, that there were values instilled because my parents lived through it that I was able to take with me. And I think Sudeikis was like, yeah, like I occasionally would visit my uncle when he was on set or when he was in town doing appearances or whatever. But that the insight into the business might help a young, aspirant learn to navigate it a little bit better, a little bit earlier, and not make the dumb mistakes that people do make when they get rich and or famous.
Man, oh man, that's I'm still kind of like, what? Those guys are related? When is that reading? When is that? And is it free or you got to buy tickets?
It is December 5th. You do have to buy tickets. Tickets start at $25. That also apparently comes with a commemorative holiday gift item. Worth it. Yeah, so it's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard on Sunday, December 5th. I'm sure if you searched for the Ed Asner Family Center and or Sudeikis and It's a Wonderful Life, you'll find the link somewhere on the internet.
Chat, very funny tonight as they're all going like, I hear Ethan Cohen has a brother. Like,
yes, his name is Roderick Haynes.
Steve Corton says, that's like finding out Joe Rogan and Gerard Way are cousins. They are. That was crazy when I found that out. I was like, Rosemary Clooney was George's aunt, Vicky's Restorations is saying.
Ah, my bad.
Not mom, but yeah, he had a famous relative.
Yeah. And yes, Mr. Marcy or Ms. Marcy, it is a charity live stream you pay for. Otherwise, they don't raise money for charity.
Rosemary Clooney is George Clooney's aunt. Miguel Ferrer was Rosemary's son. So Mel Ferrer and Rosemary Clooney had Miguel Ferrer, Albert in Twin Peaks, amongst many things. He was, in our world, he was the vice president, I believe, in Iron Man 3.
Indeed. And he was also the young upstart salesman in RoboCop.
Yes. Yeah. He was the one that was like, you're my fucking man. That guy. Oh, him as Albert in Twin Peaks is one of my favorite fucking performances of all time. Like the guy, the forensics guy who was just so fucking shitty. He comes to a small town and calls them all rubes and hicks and shit. Oh, he was so fucking good.
And Jose Ferrer was the Padishah Emperor Shaddam.
Yeah, he was the emperor who we haven't even met yet in fucking Denis Villeneuve's movie and shit.
Wouldn't it be great if
What's his name?
Melville?
How do you say
Padishah Emperor Shaddam the Fourth.
Shaddam the Fourth. That pissy little fuck. He sent the Harkonnens against fucking House Atreides because he's a what do they call him? Not jealous man. Scared? No, jealous man. He's a jealous man.
He's a petty, jealous man.
Fucking jerk.
Yeah.
What other news?
Our last story is about a dead man. However, it is not a sad one. We are celebrating the 94th birthday of Steve Ditko, the artist and co-creator, along with Stan Lee, of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
And without Stan Lee, sole creator, I believe, of The Question.
Indeed, along with
DC.
Blue Beetle and the Creeper, Shade the Changing Man, Hawk and Dove.
Oh my God, you're right. I forgot. He did Shade as well.
Yeah.
And Creeper. Creeper is a fucking wonderful looking character.
But
he was an artist and writer, correct?
Indeed. I think he broke in for the most part. His biggest creations were as an artist, but he did it both. Artist, writer, inker.
Take over the top. Like he was the guy that kind of created the Doctor Strange universe. Like, you know, I think Stan started with like his name's Doctor Strange and stuff, but I believe most of the other stuff came from Ditko. I could be wrong, but like Dormammu, I believe is his.
Yeah, you know, and he contributed a bunch to Marvel Comics until 1966, when he left Marvel for unclear reasons. Never been actually revealed, although one can assume it was either over money and or credit and or, you know, sort of being able to captain his own ship. And then went to Charlton and DC and did a bunch of work until he passed away about 4 years ago.
Recently his brother was in the news because they're like, we're gonna get ours, man. We're going after Marvel and getting our fucking Spider-Man copyright back, trademark back. So sooner or later, the good folks at Disney will probably have to come to some sort of financial agreement with the Ditko estate. Well, won't they?
Yes, I hope they do, and I hope it doesn't become some ugly, drawn-out legal battle that ends up in tears. Because nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
You've been watching Foundation. There's a lot of Foundation chatter.
I have not yet. I did start Midnight Mass though on Netflix, which I'm liking quite a bit. It is not too scary for this here wuss.
Yeah, sell me on Midnight Mass. Everyone keeps trying to, but you might actually succeed.
You know, it reminds me very much of a Stephen King story, in that it's set in some, like, you know, coastal island, what is probably off the coast of Maine because it feels like it, in which there's this very small, tightly knit community full of people who all know each other's business, and the priest, the father of the parish, who'd been there for, you know, 75 years, has gone missing, and so there's a replacement priest who shows up, and that sort of kicks off what seems to be a vampire story. What seems to be a story about sort of recovery and alcoholism and responsibility, a story about faith, a story about sort of desperation and despondence. It's a slow burn for sure, you know, in the same way that your great Stephen King stories are. Like, let me introduce you to these people and let me get you inside their lives, and then let me drop something supernatural into it and see how they respond. But the cast is great. You know, I'm in love with, you know, I mean, I've been in love with Raul Coley for a while, but he was a guest on In Your Absence. But he plays a Muslim sheriff in an overwhelmingly Christian town, and, you know, sort of the navigating that, trying to be a man of authority when he sees his own authority being undercut at almost every turn. And I don't know the actor's name, but he was Matt Saracen on Friday Night Lights. But he seems to be the other, because it's an ensemble piece, but he seems to be the other lead, and he's doing Haunted very, very well. It's beautiful. The production values are great. And it seems to have like one or two decent sort of shock scares an episode. I'm 4 deep, so I don't know how it resolves, other than I know that there's a vampire involved. Spoilers, but there's a vampire involved. But how you get to vampire and who the vampire is, it's all fascinating. So yeah, I recommend it.
Dune. I rewatched it with
Yeah.
my wife because she hadn't seen it. And again, it's not like I didn't enjoy it the first time, but she didn't remember the David Lynch Dune. I was like, motherfucker, we watched it together. Like, I don't remember this story. And she fucking went for it hook, line, and sinker, man. The visuals like brought her in. And you know, the fucking intrigue and all that shit, but she was like all over it. And then, you know, felt like she had the fucking rug pulled out from under her. She's like, what, it's just over? And I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's how he rolls. He just fucking stops. They go for a walk and credits, man. That's all. It's like Lord of the Rings all over again. But she was way down with it. And in watching it the second time, like I didn't bump into anything the first time, except I was like, I wish we heard their thoughts, like in the Lynch version. But I liked it quite a bit. Like I was able to sit through it again, and I wasn't like, ugh. You know, honestly, like the first time I went to sit down and watch it, like when about 20 minutes in, it occurred to me like, holy shit, we're literally just going to watch the same movie. It's just a better looking version and shit. I didn't have that feeling when I watched this. It wasn't like, I'm going to watch Dune again. It was fun to watch it with somebody who was like drinking it in, like, and really digging it and stuff.
Yeah, I think there's the thing that I loved about the Lynch version, especially seeing it when I saw it was the first film in which I was lost, in that I didn't really know what was happening and I didn't really get the context for everything. And that desire to kind of like go back in and dig deep and watch it again and what the fuck is happening and start to read up about it. It's the first movie that ever did that for me. And I think there is a virtue in that. And we don't get it very much anymore, but coming to a film that you know nothing about and just sort of surrender yourself to it in a way. And I'm somewhat jealous of your average normie who knows nothing about Dune, who comes to it and becomes seduced by it, because it is.
Jen. That was Jen. He was just like, you know, I was like, what do you mean you don't remember this story? Fucking, he sticks his hand in a box and shit. You don't remember this? And she's like, not at all. And she's a big reader, but she never read Dune. So she really like, it just enveloped her. It was kind of interesting to watch. I was like, right on, man. Like, it's nice to see sci-fi work really well. And it's not like, oh, she poo-poos that shit. Like, she's way into sci-fi as the next guy and stuff. But like, what he wanted to achieve for the audience, he absolutely achieved with her, hands down. She took the exact ride that he wanted her to take. So much so that I was like, hey, shouldn't he at least consult her husband before he takes her on this fucking ride that she enjoys so much? But yeah, she was down like a clown for it, man.
Yeah.
What about
the foundation?
I did by the end of the movie memorize the fucking name, Shai Hulud.
Well done, sir.
I remember last time I was like, I'm never gonna remember his fucking name, Shai Hulud.
By his coming, we were blessed by his coming and going. Shai Hulud. It's
still the funnest fucking thing to say is Kwidzak Fadarak.
There's a lot of fun words in that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun words.
That's a big word for Messiah, Kwidzak Fadarak. You can just break it down to
the Bene Gesserit sisterhood.
Yeah, they're so fucking full of themselves.
They really are. We know best.
Nuns and shit.
You were told to bear only daughters.
I know. Fuck you. I'll bear what I want.
And Atreides' daughter could have been bred to a Harkonnen son, and we would have controlled the offspring.
I love when Mark nerds out. Get him some Skywalker wine. So even deeper.
By the juice of Sabu, then my thoughts acquire speed, and my lips acquire stain. By my
was that in the book, or was that just in Lynch?
It's in the book. That's in the book.
They didn't do that in.
The Mentats really got sidelined in this version of it. You know, you
I don't know what that means. What are the Mentats? What's the Mentat?
The Mentats were Dismalchin plays the Baron Harkonnen's
that guy
Mentat.
who Brad Dourif played.
Right. And they're the human computers, because this is a somewhat analog world. There had been some kind of computer revolution.
When their eyes go white and they come up with figures.
Right.
And Thufa is that in
Thufir Hawat is that for the Atreides. So every great house has a Mentat that just does all of that grinding computing to just spit out figures and data and analysis, because there's no computers.
I like that. Yeah, they took that fucking, what is it?
Yeah, the juice of Sabu. By my will alone do I set my mind in motion. By the juice of Sabu do my thoughts acquire speed, do my lips acquire stain. By my will alone do I set my mind in motion.
You're so lucky you're already married because you just ruined any chances of getting laid.
That's not a penny dropper, you don't think?
No
if
way.
I just roll into it, what if I rolled into Scum and Villainy and was like, I need juice for my lips. These thoughts got to acquire speed. Give me some of that.
Age, I don't think so.
I don't know.
Post-Me era, nobody's walking in any place going, I need juice for my lips. All right, is that all the news?
That's all the news, my friend.
Hey, you wanted the news. Mark gave you the news, and give him thanks. Sing a new song unto the Lord, because Mark gave you the news, ladies and gentlemen. Suze Vera says Kevin pronounces Dune space gibberish like a 6-year-old, and I'm here for it. The Quidzac Sadarach.
Yes, the stains become a warning. Yes, null unit. I forgot the stains become a warning.
Folks, if you're just joining us this deep in the show, I am heading out on the road this week. Tomorrow I'm going to be showing my movie Clerk, the documentary about my life, in Austin at the Paramount Theater. Tickets available at csmod.com. If you're anywhere in Texas, come see me. Then I'm going to the Rhode Island Comic-Con on Friday, and with a bunch of folks from Clerks, Jeff Anderson, Brian O'Halloran, Jason Mewes, everybody. Taking pictures, doing a panel. That's on Saturday. Then on Friday, rather. Saturday, I'm going to Jersey to show Clerk at Smod Castle, but that's sold out. But Sunday, I'm going to St. Louis. You anywhere near Missouri? St. Louis, that arch? I'm going to be at the pageant showing Clerk with Malcolm Ingram, doing a Q&A afterwards. And then I go to Chicago, do it at the Music Box Theater on Monday. Then I go to Toronto and do it at the Queen Elizabeth Theater on Tuesday. And then Thursday, I'm in Vancouver at the Rio doing the show. Tickets at csmod.com if you want to come out and see me, man. I plug my stuff because we're about to plug our second sponsor of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, an embarrassment of riches here on FatMan Beyond. We're a name that's trusted in geek podcasting, so much so that not only are the good people at Native letting us God damn it, that smells good. Letting us sing their praises as our sponsor. We have a secondary sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. Second half of this show is sponsored by the good folks at Blue Chew.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You want to fill up that stocking?
Tell them what Blue Chew do, Mark.
I will not read their copy because their copy is a bit outdated. It's summer, camping season. Let's talk about pitching tents. Nope. It's winter. It's cuffing season. It's stocking season. Yeah. It's candy cane season. Let's talk about keeping that candy cane long and strong.
That's right, man.
Blue Chew is a unique service that offers and delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. Take them anytime, day or night. You can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. Process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. All done online, no visits to a doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And these tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package.
What kind of magical Jetsons-like future do we live in, Mark, where you can chew some candy and get fucking rock hard, man? Make life with your life bringer.
Indeed.
I mean, amazing. If George Jetson had this, there would have been more than Judy and Elroy. I'll tell you that much. He would have had a lot of kids.
Whole lot of a flock of Jetsons.
No doubt. And it wouldn't have been Spacely yelling his name. It would have been fucking Jane going, Jetson, get in here. And he would have been like, oh, gladly. And he pops a fucking a Blue Chew and
giggity, let's go.
Just goes to town, man, like in the future, up in the air. They're having sex in the air, Mark. That's what the Jetsons was all about at the end of the day. People that fuck up in the air.
That's some Barbarella shit if I ever heard it.
Truly, man. That's what Blue Chew wants for you. They want to put your dick in the future where everything is good and strong. Blue Chew,
Blue Chew.
Gentlemen. You can eat it and it's going to make you erect. Well, fucking what more do you want in a product?
If you want your sandworm to perform better, Blue Chew is the spice.
Oh, look at that. And we always blow up the copywriters over Blue Chew, but Mark, that's some strong copyright there.
You got to know your audience. So if you could benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code FATMAN at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code FATMAN to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank the good folks at Blue Chew for sponsoring this podcast.
Let me tell you something, man. Not only do I thank the good folks at Blue Chew for sponsoring Fat Man Beyond, man, I fucking salute the good folks at Blue Chew. What a great idea. They're like, fuck taking a pill. What if we made it fun? You ate it.
What if we brought it to your door? What if we just brought you the thing you want most?
Yeah, what if we took all the doctory shit out of it and just made it fucking fun like sex should be, man? Eating candy and getting laid. That's my life. That's what I want. Put that on my headstone. All he wanted was to eat candy and get laid. Sometimes shit worked out for him because his bar was low. Here lies the lowest bar ever fucking raised.
A humble motherfucker with a stiff-ass dick.
Changing my Twitter handle to that. All right, kids. We gave you the news. Now it's time for the nudes. That's right, a new section of the show. Who's naked this week on Fat Man Beyond? No, we're going to do the Q&A.
Yes.
Your first Q would be like, why did you think that was an appropriate joke to make, Kev? My answer is, I'm sorry.
I'm a little bit high.
Yeah, I'm a
little
A
tired.
little bit high. I'm way high, man. I've been smoking. I'm not. But what I've been smoking here on camera is CBD weed, kids. But I have been enjoying this Mighty Kind Movies seltzer, man, which is a cannabis seltzer, Mark. Made with fucking cannabis.
What's it do for you?
Quenches my thirst and reminds me that I created a character that is now on soda cans.
Everybody wins.
Co-created. The artist who originally drew movie, named Scott Purcell, has a cameo in Clerks 3.
Oh, nice.
You'll notice him because he's wearing a Movies jacket.
Branding.
He was the guy that I was like, the script called for this movie thing. And, he drew a lot of like cartoon cows. And I was like, he should look like Mickey Mouse. And he was like, oh, that's easy. And he literally just drew a Mickey Mouse cow. And I was like,
ding, ding.
And mind you, Miramax was owned by Disney at the time. So this was very right in the hand that fed, man, But then I saw years later Tim Burton's Dumbo, and I was like, oh my God, never mind that.
Fuck it.
This guy like fucking shit in Disney's mouth on Disney's dime, making a Disney movie, and they still made fun of Disney and shit. It was crazy.
Like you like it, so I'm shitting in your mouth.
Yeah, never say that he ain't a brave filmmaker. That was crazy. Michael Keaton in a wonderful performance. Speaking of wonderful performance, and Michael Keaton and earlier Rosario Dawson watched Dope Sick on Hulu.
I keep hearing that. Should I?
Unfucking believably good, man. Unbelievably good. So everyone top notch, storytelling, page turning, top notch. Cast is fucking wonderful. Michael Keaton, like, just, you're sitting there going like, I think I know everything he could do. And then you remember this is a motherfucker that was in Clean and Sober. So for the first time since Clean and Sober, he's doing an addiction thing. And it is so fucking hauntingly believable. He's so good in it. Rosario's good. Whole fucking cast is really great, man. It's definitely worth a watch.
Awesome. Okay.
Not genre oriented, but like, still well done. It's depressing though. Heads up. Like,
yeah, it's not cheery.
It made me sad too, because Jason Mewes got caught up in that back then. And back then I remember being the guy being like, just stop fucking taking these pills, grow up. This shit was insidious, man. They like fucking literally designed this to trap folk, to mint addicts. Like it is, these Sackler people are fucking villains, man. So yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I mean, in a world where it's like, that's not really very genre oriented, tell you what, Richard Sackler, one of the biggest super villains you'll ever fucking see. Worse than Thanos, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. At least according to this, dramatic miniseries. But I also watched, the HBO doc, and Those Sackler folks don't come off very well in that either. Fucking such greed, man. It's like, how much money do you need? At the expense of like fucking human welfare, not just American human welfare, but worldwide. Like that shit was an epidemic, hardcore. And it affected a lot of people. Like it's not like, oh, it happened elsewhere. Like I know people that fucking happened to and got swept up in this. Anyway, Dope Sick is absolutely wonderful. But if you're like a recovering addict and stuff, careful, because there's a lot of terminology and process talk that may like trigger you.
Gotcha.
Anyway, let me tell you something, kids. Right now, we're gonna do some Q&A. And if the question is, Kev, when are you coming out on the road to see me? The answer is tomorrow. I'll be in Austin.
If that's where you are.
Yeah. And if you're not there, then I'll be in Jersey. And if you're not there, I'll be in Rhode Island. If not there, Jersey. If not there, St. Louis, Chicago, Toronto, Vancouver. Clerk is coming at you. Come see the story of my life. Banff, man.
Banff.
Hey!
It's time for you to choose who gets to live and who gets to die. No, you get to pick the questions. As per usual, we put the really heavy lifting in JC's hands. I was at a signing at the Stash recently, and was it the Stash? Yes. Someone gave me this fucking amazing lighter.
Oh shit! Is that 3D?
Yes, it's like decoupage, man. It's like it's a lighter case.
Bas relief.
Gorgeous. Yeah, like a bas relief. Well done.
That's awesome.
Man, it was fucking gorgeous. People are talented. I want to try to find this cat and be like, make a bunch. We'll sell them at the store. But it looks like it takes time. Like, very, very, very detailed.
Yeah. Or he's just 3D printing them. Just like, bzz, bzz, bzz.
I saw JC on your Instagram. You've been doing a lot of like 3D printing, wood blazing. What are you doing over there?
So I love Thundercats, and I read a story a long time ago that, the sheath of Excalibur was actually better than Excalibur because you can't get wounded in battle if you have the scabbard on. And similarly with Thundercats, I always loved the claw shield more than the actual Sword of Omens as a weapon or device. And so I found some guy who had 3D modeled the claw shield from Thundercats that I've wanted since I was 4 years old. And so I bought it and I 3D printed it as like one giant piece. So like I've scratched that itch that I've had for 36 years to do that.
How long did it take? 36 years to 3D print the shield? How long did it take?
56 hours.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Jesus. Like nothing could go wrong at the 25-hour mark.
It's probably about, I don't know, $60 worth of material. So if it does go wrong, you don't want that to happen because it's expensive.
I mean, Sting could have been having sex and come, and you still would have been making a fucking claw shield.
And I don't know if you know this or not, but he lasts a long time.
Yeah, not quite claw shield length, but still pretty good.
That's how.
Take it from somebody who knows. He lasts a long time. Tom Hardy. It's like this the whole time. And I was like, hey, man, I look back over my shoulder. Don't make me call the police. I said, hey, that stings. Thank you. I knew I'd find something that worked.
I'm sending out an SOS. Stop fucking me.
Sure put a message in my bottle, I'll tell you that much.
Can't
all right.
stand so close to you.
Synchronicity. No, I've got.
We're out.
All right. JC.
Before
father of Jocelyn. Before you what?
Well, before we do Q&A, I've got some comments from chat that I logged that I thought were interesting. Both shout out to James Smith and Ellis Delgado are going to see you tomorrow in Texas.
See you there, kids. I'm going to show you Clerk, story of my life. I don't know why I'm doing finger guns.
Because why wouldn't you?
Edward M. said that you should turn the car ride with your mom into a podcast. Like bring a little tape recorder and just chop it up.
I just put a fucking camera right on the
yeah, like GoPro
dash cam, man. Do a little fucking zoom camera and just shoot
a couple GoPros. Just do the 2-shot over here and the single over there.
My one of my favorite comments of the night was from Parade 4444. They said, "Oh my god, I never miss, and it's usually later, so I'm out of sorts. It's early, but I guess my 90-year-old grandmother will be watching FatMan Beyond with me tonight."
Oh, that fucking rocks.
And like, you know, so 90-year-old grandma got to watch the Blue Chew ad. Maybe, you know, gives her some ideas.
Man, she's like, I've seen Tears in Rain. Like, you know, she's able to give a monologue about a life well lived, and now, only now, you know, in the prime of her life, do they introduce the chewable dick pill.
I've seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Taylor.
The Sarah Harley said, "Oh my God, Mark has a line in this movie." When we played the Clerks trailer or the Clerk trailer.
That's very funny. That is very funny.
And Gregory Robbins said, "Marvel is like pizza and sex. Even the worst of Marvel movies are still kind of good," with regards to Eternals and Thor 2.
My point exactly. We don't know what the Eternals is going to be. We haven't seen it yet, but let me tell you something. I agree with that sentiment 100%, man. Fucking ain't no such thing as bad Marvel.
And then my comment for the night was, nobody except me says, JC's looking like he's about to perform at Vans Warped Tour 2004 with my haircut.
Red cut your hair. That's a red haircut, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is a red haircut.
You came over today to pick up a cut of the movie, JC, of being the assistant editor on Clerks 3. And like one of the first things I know, I was like, my God, your hair looks good. He's like, Red did it. Yeah, it's a good cut, man. Fucking, you look like a sports broadcaster.
It's so not on brand, but the baby's birthday is this weekend, so like I'm gonna have photos forever.
1 year?
She's gonna be 1 year old. How crazy!
Oh.
She was a Stay Puft Marshmallow baby for Halloween.
Yeah,
adorbs.
So okay,
don't forget, kids. November 23rd, Masters of the Universe, Revelation, Part 2, dropping like it's hot, as they used to say back in the day.
Like it's hot.
I would love to show you the trailer, but I'm afraid we get thrown off YouTube or something. You can see the trailer; it's out there, but can't wait.
It's so close.
So we had a really good chat tonight. A lot of good comments, a lot of really good questions. I picked these three. So anybody who I didn't pick, you had good questions. Just these were the ones I picked.
Don't feel judged by questions not fucking picked.
I will say, and it's not just because the people who are watching this are the people who submitted questions. I feel like we had more higher quality questions this show, like by a factor of like 50% than normal.
Ooh.
Say again, what happened?
Like we had, if we had 100 questions submitted tonight, like 80% of them were really good questions.
Oh, is that right?
Typically it's not that, usually I'm like, well, there are like 5 really good ones and I'm going to take these 3. I have a whole bunch that
you don't have to lower somebody to raise somebody up. You're like, usually these questions are dog shit, and I have to fucking sift through them to find even one presentable. But tonight,
it was like everybody
showed up.
Everybody in chat was really good.
I was following along on chat, which I know as some people call me out on it from time to time. Like, don't look at chat, look at me. But chat was fucking fun and very full of good information and stuff. And also they ran with some of our jokes for like a long time, which was always
Witness me.
I like when the audience is funnier than us. And that's not hard to do. We keep the bar very low here. We make it so that you can watch this show and feel superior to us in every way possible.
It's the sketchbook version of a show. Like you draw in your own stuff.
Yeah, you're comfortable around us because you know that you're better than us. What do we got?
Okay, Michael Monson said, question for the boys. If you could take any character ever and have them be president, who would you choose and who would be their VP?
Simon Bob?
I was just showing off my book. Evidence of the Secret Stash, now available on Amazon. One more time with that question. I was so busy thinking about selling something that I forgot what you asked.
Bam. Any character ever to be the real life president and the real life vice president.
Okay. Jesus. One of my favorite characters.
Mhm.
Good dude. I know there are a lot of people like Jesus, but all those Christians, he can't help it that a bunch of people took his words and twisted them around. And, you know, most of the people that espouse his name now don't really act like he wanted them to act. So Jesus is a good guy. Jesus is just all right with me.
Also, he'd be our first Jewish president. So sure.
I didn't say president. He's vice.
Oh, he's vice. Okay.
Yeah. He's your backup guy, man. He's the, the air and the spare. He's the one in the chamber, Mark. Like,
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Jesus as vice president, because you could trust him too. It's not like Jesus would ever be like, I'm going to kill the president so that I become president. Jesus is like, I know what it's like to be fucking betrayed and killed. Like, trust me, do the job. You're good. So Jesus is my vice. Reed Richards.
Okay.
Tony, I love Tony Stark, but like you want somebody a little more serious as your president. Reed Richards, man, is the most brilliant man in the Marvel universe, and fuck, he could stretch. Like any good president, he's got to learn to stretch, and we know Reed Richards could do that. He could solve some fucking problems. There's a guy that built the Fantastic Car, and Herbie the Robot, if you used to watch the TV show version. He could be president. Make him president for life. Make him like fucking Caesar, man. Just give him full authority and shit. Plus, he ain't afraid to wear his age in his temples. Right here.
The polls go up by 4 points if he leaves the gray.
Yeah, and he does it. He don't do it for the polls, Mark. He's like, this is my brand. I've always been this guy since I was a kid. Not the Miles Teller version, but every other incarnation.
I'm smart. See.
Yeah, I'm smart. I can do things. I'm smart. That's Reed Richards.
Fredo the president.
That was President Reed Richards, ladies and gentlemen.
Like, that was weird.
He's very insecure about Vice President Jesus Christ. Those are my two. Mark?
I'm going to choose not to choose any fictional presidents because it feels like cheating.
Yeah, I agree. Because you would want to choose fucking Martin Sheen from
like President Bartlett in a heartbeat, and or President Morgan Freeman from Deep Impact. Guys who deal with crisis very well. But I am instead going to choose President Snake Plissken and Vice President the Duke of New York, a number one.
Wow.
I feel like it's a bit of a team of rivals.
Did you just fucking watch Escape from New York tonight?
I did not, but he clearly, Snake, knows what's best for America. He's willing to make the hard decisions. He's a veteran, so he'd do very well in the South. The conservatives would love him. The Democrats would love him because he's also a bit of an anarchist. He's got the one eye, which makes him fucking badass. And the Duke of New York has administrative experience. That's a dude that ran a city. He understands how to keep order. He understands how to make the trains run. I think it's a winning team. I think Pliskin Duke 2024 has a shot. So yeah, and now somebody make me that T-shirt, and I would wear it.
This is a random poll, but Dr. Fate wouldn't be a bad fucking president either.
That's true. That's true.
Always seemed fair, and also it's like you have the helmet of Naboo. Is that what it is? The helmet of Or am I thinking of the bed? Take us to the Isle of Nabumbu.
Nabumbu.
Yes, it's the helmet of Naboo, I believe. Kent Nelson. I'm not saying Kent Nelson. I'm saying Dr. Fate.
Of course. Yeah. No, that checks out.
But you could do a duel. You could do Kent and Inza Nelson because they were both Dr. Fate at one point. There you got your two. You got your surf and turf president, vice president. And they're all under one helmet and shit. So you're saving money. Which is important in government, from what I understand.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, you got to balance a budget. It's all about resource management.
Oh, good God.
Similarly, I feel like Mufasa would be a pretty decent president.
Mufasa. Yeah, very.
And
practical too. Like, here's a guy who's not afraid to look, we eat the fucking zebras. Like, we gotta. Like, that's the circle of life. The circle of life ain't just that little hole under your mom's tail, Simba. The circle of life. The circle of life is we eat the fucking zebras. It's that simple.
The pink eye of life.
Don't get fucking friendly with the zebras because you will fucking eat one before the day is out.
Yeah. So, dear America, I have your best interest at heart because I want you all to be healthy because I'm going to be eating 4% of you. So It's just all about good healthcare, good schools. There's an exercise program. We want this to be the healthiest populace the world has ever seen because healthy is delicious.
He's got a great commanding voice. You'd listen to everything that president said.
Oh, fuck yeah. We're raising taxes. Are you? Yes. Okay. You
Go
got
ahead.
this.
Why didn't you do that sooner?
I find your lack
Tax
of faith
the fuck out of us, Mufasa. We love your voice.
Do it.
What a great question. If only we were in the bar, we can give him something cool. But here, we just give him one of these and a Jeff's kiss. Next.
I haven't seen season 2, but I think after season 1, I would pick Ted Lasso as president and Coach as VP.
Coach Beard.
Because I feel like, they can do anything.
I'm half with you. I would definitely go Ted Lasso as president, but I would probably go Roy Kent for vice.
Ooh.
I can see that.
Bring the hammer down.
You need Ted is great, and fucking I love a humanist, but we are talking about politics, government. You need a show of strength, and fucking Roy Kent being like, "Oi, fuck off!" is
He's a fucking wanker. He's always been a wanker. Is he being a pissy little bitch? Is he?
Brett Goldstein.
Hey, Putin.
God, I love him. He was doing press recently. We got to get him on this fucking show, man.
No, you did his podcast. You got the way in.
No, I loved his podcast. It was so fun. That was before I knew he was fucking going to be one of my favorite actors of all time. I love that character. That character is so fucking fantastic, and he is absolutely adorable. Two of them, him and Keely together. I was so sad to see the end of Ted Lasso season 2, and I was like, well, it'll be back soon. And somebody pointed out it won't be back for a fucking year, and I was like, no,
make it stop.
No. And then I got over it. I was like, you got shit to do.
I remember how television works, so it's okay.
Yes. True. It's like shit stops. Another show will come along. You'll be fine.
All right.
Boy, that show's good. All right, what do we got next, JC?
All right. Suze Vera wants to know what native smells would each of the OG Avengers use?
What native scents? You mean for native?
Native DEO scents, yeah.
I'll tell you right now. God, this sugar cookie body wash, is I'm going to leave it on my desk and just inhale it from time to time. It is pure happiness in a little bottle and shit. So who's this smell like? Captain America should smell like sugar cookies, no?
Yeah, I guess.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you have to think about it that long for? Fucking, what's more American than a goddamn sugar cookie?
I don't know, fucking pine forest or some shit.
Oh, nobody wants to smell like a pine forest. Everyone wants to smell like sugar cookies. Could you imagine, even if you were getting punched in the fucking face because you're a supervillain, you're getting punched in the fucking face by a sugar cookie hand. There's something pleasant about it.
All right. I'm on Native DEO, Native's website, so I can see all of the scents they have.
I'm gonna put it in my mustache so all I smell are sugar cookies.
You like that scene in Silence of the Lambs when Scott Glenn tosses fucking Jodie Foster, the little things you don't smell, the dead bodies.
All I want to smell is sugar cookies because I'm about to enter a room of death.
Clarice, like, sugar cookies. Where's that body?
Okay. All right, wait. So where were we?
What sense would the Avengers smell like?
I say Captain America smells like sugar cookie. I
Fair.
say Black Widow smells like. I don't know if they do this scent, but what's that shit? Patchouli.
Really?
Yeah, she seems like a patchouli gal to me.
She seems crunchy. She'd be on tour with the Dead if she had the chance.
I think so. And also rugged, and Russian. That helps as well. I mean, does Native make a vodka scent? Because that would be, I would imagine what the Black Widow would be into. Tony Stark. I'm gonna go with strawberry essence. I don't even know if Native does that. Do you have a list of what Native does?
I'm pulling them up. Let's see. We got coconut and vanilla, cucumber and mint, lavender and rose.
Coconut and vanilla. That's Hawkeye. Although I like coconut. That's Tony Stark. Remember at one point he was like, I taste coconut. Did he say that when he was like, tastes like metal? Coconut was getting powered up and shit. I think it was Iron Man 2. What other flavors?
Hold on a sec. I wish they just had a list, but they don't quite. Bergamot and pine, surf and sea moss, sandalwood and fig.
Sandalwood is Thor, and fig. That sounds like a fucking Asgardian thing. Bring me the figs. Another.
That checks out. Cucumber and mint feels like it's a Hulk thing.
Very good call.
Lavender and rose could be Black Widow.
Good point. There is no patchouli, so yes, lavender and rose. We'll save that for the Black Widow.
Unscented would be Hawkeye.
Dilly. Unscented, yeah. Hawkeye. Although the new trailer, like all the trailers for that series, looks charming as fuck. I think that's how they redeem Hawkeye. They're gonna make you love Hawkeye. Christmas, you're gonna love Hawkeye. They're gonna Ted Lasso this fucker. By the end of it, you're gonna be like, I love this guy.
I do tend to besmirch the Hawkeye, but I did see a picture. I want to say it was like on Harold Perrineau's Instagram of him stopping by Jeremy Renner's house with his kids for trick-or-treating, and Renner had dressed up as Hawkeye and was handing out candy. And I was like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Not bad.
Not on par with Steve Buscemi dressing up as, hey, young people, as one meme and delivering candy this year.
Did you guys see, it was a meme, and it was Paul Rudd out with his daughter, I believe, maybe a niece or something, and she was dressed as the Wasp, and rather than go as Ant-Man, he went as fucking Weird Al. Like, he could have been Ant-Man and the Wasp for this little girl, and he's nah, I'm gonna roll with Weird Al tonight.
That's the sequel we've all been waiting for. Weird Al and the Wasp.
That's a dude who was like, you know what? I haven't had the Marvel trainer in a while, so like, I don't know if I could squeeze into this costume, but Weird Al is just a funny suit, so sure.
I love Rocky Road. That's my go-to Weird Al.
Y-O-D-A Yoda.
The least recognizable. All right, that was fun. We got
close enough.
We give a Jeff's kiss to that, and I'll tell you, who really Jeff's kissed the fuck out of that was probably the good folks at Native.
Mm-hmm. Smell it.
God damn it! I had no idea until tonight how much I love the smell of sugar cookies. This shit's sulfate free, paraben free, dye free, latte free. It's got no latte in it. Well, all right. Fucking goddamn it.
You're fucking.
This is how one becomes an addict.
You're like, Dennis Hoppering. You're just fucking.
Yeah. I'm like, what are these? Let's just
blue ribbon.
All right. Third question of the night.
Bamf. Okay, last one. This is from, oh God, screw this. If you could have a dead or retired filmmaker take on a Marvel or DC film, who would it be and what project? And the example was like Orson Welles would do a Magneto biopic.
Oh, that's a strong pull.
All right.
Okay. Let me think here. George Roy Hill directed a bunch of movies that I love, including, and not limited to, The Sting, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the buddy movie from which every fucking buddy movie draws, whether they know it or not, and The World According to Garp. 3 of my all-time favorite movies. So he's not an obvious choice, but those are great movies if you've never seen them. So I'm going to pick George Roy Hill. Now, The Sting is a fucking caper.
Yep.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is a buddy movie about 2 old gunslingers fucking trying to eke it out in the modern world. And
you can't swim, the fall will kill you.
Bolivia. And then The World According to Garp is a beautiful adaptation of the John Irving novel that covers the span of a life. One of my favorite books ever written, if not my favorite book. And the movie adaptation was equally wonderful. So that guy, those movies, those particular credits, what does that say to me that he should handle? Okay. Part of me wants to say Heroes for Hire. Because the guy who did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid could really do Power Man and Iron Fist. However, we've seen that. So I'm trying to think of something we haven't seen. George Roy Hill, but directing what? Wow, it's dead air. And I'm losing the audience because they're like, George Roy Hill, who the fuck? I'm going to go with George Roy Hill does Excalibur.
Okay. Did not see that coming, but sure.
I was thinking, I'm trying to think about, like, they've done a number of X-Men movies, of course, but the MCU hasn't done their X-Men movie yet. And I'm thinking about what incarnation in the hands of George Roy Hill. You know, initially I wanted to say God Loves Man Kills because I couldn't wait to see that, but he's totally wrong for God Loves Man Kills. But he would be excellent for an adaptation of Excalibur. You know, fucking Kitty Pryde and Lockheed, her dragon, and fucking all the fucking British X-Men kids. That'd be, and granted, he's known for doing British movies, but I think that level of mirth and warmth and life and, you know, adventure, intrigue, I think he could handle that pretty well. Not the sexiest dancer in the world, but I'm gonna stand by it. If for no other reason than to reiterate 3 movies that you probably never thought about or heard of or haven't watched in a long time and are worth your time. The Sting, wonderful fucking movie. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, a fantastic fucking American film, one of the best. and The World According to Garp. Robin Williams in an amazing performance. Glenn Close in an amazing performance. John Lithgow in an amazing performance. Like, give these movies your time. Over to you, Mark.
Okay, I have 2 suggestions. I had some time to think. Sidney Lumet doing Daredevil.
Ooh, that's good. That's
You know,
good. Ooh,
Sidney Lumet, New York filmmaker, specialized in crime and the urban
did
blight.
Dog Day Afternoon, for God's sakes. Him,
Serpico.
Oh.
And the Frank Miller, John Byrne Wolverine limited series, the Wolverine Goes to Japan, by Akira Kurosawa.
Oh my God. Wow. Fucking your shit blows my shit out of the water. That was great. Yeah, fucking that's pretty mental right there. Kubrick. Kubrick could do I would like to see Kubrick do Hellstrom, Son of Satan.
Ooh, okay.
Man made The Shining, one of the spookiest fucking movies ever made. Let's see what he could do with the Son of Satan.
That'd be fun.
Bam.
This is a fun game. Who else is dead? My career's dead, so let's do Kevin Smith's career.
I would do Penny Marshall and put her behind Fantastic Four and do it period and do it earnest. Like, do it just saccharine.
What's the period? 60s?
60s.
Wow.
With Penny Marshall.
You got me on Penny Marshall and Fantastic Four. Yeah, why not? But I'm trying to think if there's something she'd be even better suited for. What a great poll, Penny Marshall. Man, fucking, you want to talk about a run. Big, an amazing movie. Awakenings, an amazing movie. Fucking A League of Their Own, an amazing movie. She hit like a fucking trifecta, like incredible career. Wow, what a great poll.
Yeah. I was trying to think of something. I feel like New Mutants isn't quite right. But maybe could be. But Jonathan Demme.
Ooh. Demme. I mean, which Demme we talking? We talking Married to the Mob Demme, or we talking Silence of the Lambs Demme?
I was talking, you know who would be better for New Mutants though? John Hughes.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Oh my God, a John Hughes teenage fucking mutant movie.
Yeah. Or you can just do straight up X-Men with John Hughes. Just make it fucking.
Oh my God, poor fucking Cyclops. It's so sad because you pulled the elephant's trunk. It's supposed to turn on, but it didn't. Wolverine taping butts together and shit. Wow, man. Wow. I can't believe George Roy Hill. What I went with. That's the currency I spent on this show when fucking
you guys, George Roy Hill.
I saw someone in chat said, and I thought this was very poignant, John Singleton doing Luke Cage.
That would be nice.
He wanted to do that. He also wanted to do Black Panther for years.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a David
Eunice
thing.
Mosio says Tony Scott and the Suicide Squad. And I was like, that's a pretty good answer. Tony Scott had that slick ass style, man. Kabuki Kid said David Cronenberg doing Hellblazer. But number one, David Cronenberg's still alive.
Yeah, still working.
Yeah. So there's still a chance. That's a good idea outside the rules of our game.
Although Dario Argento doing Hellblazer would be something.
Ooh, but wait, he's still alive too.
I don't think he is. I thought Dario passed. Or did he? Let's see.
No, I think he's alive because they did that Suspiria remake. And I think he commented on it. I think he's still alive.
Yeah, my bad.
Pure True Metal says Penny Marshall doing Wonder Woman 1960. Russell Cook says Robert Altman's Justice League. Holy shit. John Ashford says John Ford doing Rawhide Kid. What a great poll that is.
Oh, that's great. I mean, John Ford doing Jonah Hex would also be awesome.
Bicky's Restoration said Sam Peckinpah, dead shot. John Neuromorph says John Landis doing Black Panther, but in the style of Coming to America. That's never going to happen in this lifetime.
Right. And also still alive.
Yes, good point. Good point. He's not dead. Yes, everyone's chat saying Dario is definitely still alive.
He is. My bad. I looked it up.
Cronenberg's been doing a lot of acting lately. Stanley Donen doing X-Men versus the Evil Brotherhood movie.
Okay.
Irving Kershner doing Adam Strange, says Braden Goss. I'll take that. That was good. Maria Ochoa said the Stanley Donen thing. That was very funny. I could do this all night. This is a good idea, but again, this dude's alive. John Woo doing The Punisher. Yes, but these filmmaker has to be dead, man. All right. Mandel Harvey said Leonard Nimoy, but didn't give a suggestion. But there's a great name that could direct and clearly directed like one of the greatest Star Trek movies, but also directed Three Men and a Baby.
Very versatile filmmaker.
Very versatile. There's a cat that could do Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I was going to say Robert Wise for like Starjammers.
Isaac Cushman said Milos Forman's Spider-Man.
I would like to see that.
George Romero. Jonas Messiah pointed out George Romero. Okay. Marvel Zombies clearly will be handled by George Romero, ladies and gentlemen, and no one will be admitted in after the fucking show begins. All right, let's move on from that. Fuck, that was good.
That was fun.
That was all three?
That's all three.
Jesus. We started the show at about 5:30 or something like that.
Yeah, give or take.
Now 8:06. I think we've run out of show, kids. Mark, what do you got to sell them while I fucking take another hit off this sugar cookie native body wash?
I do not have much to sell, although I do remember seeing in chat earlier up the Spider-Man one-shot that I wrote, the Amazing Shutterbug, is part of, I think it just came out as a Heroes Reborn collection, a trade paperback. So if one wants to find at your local comic book shop, be my guest.
That local comic book shop could very well be Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in Red Bank, New Jersey.
There it is.
What about your Let Motherfuckers Know shirt?
Yes, one could buy the Be Humble shirts or the Resistance is Fertile shirts at Embattled Clothing.
Did you catch my
Yes, Mary Catherine.
My little nod to what was her name? Catherine
Mary Catherine Gallagher. Yes, embattleclothing.com. You can get Be Humble or Resistance is Fertile. There may or may not be more shirts coming from that line. We're thinking and working as we speak.
Speaking of shirts coming from a line, Geeky Jerseys provided. They made these jerseys, these quick stop jerseys for Clerks 3. So we're doing jerseys with them, and they're going to be selling that. There's this gorgeous Movies jersey they're going to be releasing, and then also they're doing Leonardo Reapers, which Randall wore on his hat in Clerks 2, and they're going to be doing the Monroeville Zombies jersey that Seth Rogen wore in Zack and Miri Make a Porno, and spoilers, Jason Mewes wears in Clerks 3. So look for those soon. I don't know when they go on sale. They're doing them one at a time and stuff, and they're only making a certain amount and stuff, like 370 to keep with the 37 theme. But that's going to be fucking cool. I've seen them and I've worn them, and they're fucking dope. Meantime, if you're like, ooh, I can't get enough fucking Kevin Smith, and you live in Austin, or you live in St. Louis, or you live in Chicago, or you live in Toronto or Vancouver, come see me and my documentary Clerk. Not my documentary, I didn't make it. Malcolm Ingram, he directed it, and he's going to be there with me, and we're going to do Q&A after the show and stuff. So come on out, watch a 2-hour movie about me and my fat ass and my goofy shenanigans over the last few years and whatnot. And we'll chit chat afterwards. It'll be a good old fucking time. I was gonna say gay old time, but I don't want to get sued by Hanna-Barbera. And if you're like, I don't want to see a fucking movie about you, but I am in Rhode Island and I do like comic books. Well, then on Friday, come to the Rhode Island Comic-Con, kids. That's where I'm going to be with all the kids from Clerks, man. Jay, Dante, my fucking Randall, fucking Veronica, fucking Elias. It's going to be crazy. That's where I'm going to be and stuff. So next week I'm on the road. Do I have a show on Tuesday night? Yes, I have a show in Toronto. So we won't be doing this Tuesday, but we can do it Wednesday night. Are you guys free on Wednesday?
Potentially. I would have to check my schedule and see what's what. But we also have, and we were going to slot it into the feed, was the show that I taped with Ming Chen at the Northern Fan Con. So people have been asking for when they get to see it, and this may or may not be the perfect time for said development.
I looked in chat here and realized that Robert Russell said Richard Donner, Guardians of the Galaxy. Richard Donner, anything.
Superman 3.
Yes. Yeah, man. Fucking absolutely with you on that one. Fucking Richard Donner. Good pull. Now I'm just sad thinking about all the fucking cool directors who are dead. People whose work, like, meant the world to me and chased me into a field. Like they made storytelling seem fucking fun. But as much as I love Richard Donner, let me tell you something, he never made fucking sugar cookie bathwash. Good folks at Native. My God, this is making me so happy. It's in my mouth, but I don't even care.
Just chew it.
That's something I've been saying my whole life. It's in my mouth, but I don't even care.
Let me tell you kids a bit about Dick Donner. He did a lot of things well. You know what he never did? He never made sugar cookie body wash.
He did. He made a hell of a Superman picture, but he never made no sugar cookie body wash. Only Native does that. We thank our sponsors, the good folks at Native. Go to nativedeo.com/FatMan, and I'm sure they'll give you a prize or some such shit. Discount off your order. Or the good folks at Blue Chew. Is it bluechew.com?
It is indeed.
bluechew.com/FatMan, and I'm sure they'll reward you heavily as well, man. But we
Make
thank
your dick hard
for sponsoring our silly little show here. We thank JC taking time away from his nearly 1-year-old kid to fucking make sure that this show gets into your fucking house, even though we're not at the cantina. So as he said earlier, don't forget, Cantina's on fucking fire. People like pandemic, what? Fucking COVID who? They're out there drinking, partying, talking about fucking Star Wars and shit. Go to the cantina when you can, man. Scum Villainy Cantina right there in Hollywood on Hollywood Boulevard. Hollywood Boulevard.
We got in a couple weeks, November 13th, I believe, which is a Saturday. We're going to open early. We're doing all Ghostbusters all day, all night. So it's Ghostbusters themed cocktails. We've got the LA Ghostbusters there for photo ops. We've got props. We're going to have a life-size blow-up Ecto-1 driving off the roof of the bar.
When is Afterlife come out?
The 19th, I believe.
Yeah, the next week at midnight, Wednesday or Thursday, or however that works.
This week is the Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
Happens on Friday. So are they the next week or the week after the next week?
They're the week after the next week.
So there's a space between them.
Yeah, the 12th, the weekend of the 12th, and then the 19th is Ghostbusters.
The space between the Eternals and Afterlife. When I start singing Dave, it's time to go, kids.
Mm-hmm.
And when I start singing Dave badly, that's when it's really time to go.
He's slapping the space. Slapping the space, man.
Dave Matthews, I'm not.
No, that's all good.
I'm just Kevin Smith. But you know what? This show don't happen without the other guy. Give it up for Master Marc Bernardin, the maestro himself. Thumbs up he just gave you.
I did.
Up the bridge of a fucking starship. how we roll on this show. There it is, kids. We unpacked all the fucking news, the nerdy news, the geeky news, and now it's time for us to go. Hopefully I'll see some of you and on the road over the course of the next week. And then hopefully we all get to reconvene on Wednesday. And perhaps by then, both Mark and I will have seen Eternals and have something to say about it.
Indeed.
But until that time, here come those words that nobody wants to hear. That's FatMan Beyond for this week, man. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time. Same fat time, same fat channels. Podcast.com or
YouTube.com/Kevin Smith.
or fucking Meta, whatever that is. Jeff's kiss, everybody.